The room is modestly furnished. There is a couch in the center, and off to the side, a table and two chairs. Kevin Seward enters through the front door, a coat over his arm, and pieces of mail in hand. Handsome under normal conditions, the man before us looks ragged and worn down.
Nothing but junk, as usual.
Kevin heads to the couch. Once seated, he pries off his shoes and dropping them on the floor to his right. While rubbing his eyes, Kevin stretches out onto the couch. For a moment, it seems he might drift off. But then...
Oh, ah. Hello?
Hey, Kev, it's Erwin. What are you up to?
Not much, you?
Same old, same old. Are you home?
Yeah, actually, I just got in.
Mind if I come up?
What's that?
Come downstairs. Want to let me in?
Oh, yeah, sure, just head on up. My door's open.
Moments later, Erwin Gleason enters. Although only in his mid-30s, Erwin's physique makes him seem older. He is a pot-bellied, lumpy man. He wears a pair of Dior sunglasses. This is so no one can tell where he's looking or what he's thinking. Without making too corny of a pun, if the eyes really are the windows to the soul, Erwin makes sure the shades are always drawn.
Mr. Seward.
Hey, Erwin. What brings you around?
Belinda.
You'll have to forgive me, but I don't follow.
Belinda? Your best female friend in the whole wide world?
I know who Belinda is. I just don't know what you mean.
Well, I was talking with her yesterday, and your name got mentioned. She said that she's concerned about you, and that one of us should swing by and see how you're doing. I told her I would, and I'm glad I did. You look like hell, man.
Give me a break, okay? I just got in.
Just, it's 6:38. Aren't you one of those 8 to 4 office drones?
I am, but they authorized some overtime, so I'm grabbing up as much as I can. It won't last.
You need to strike a balance, man. What's the point of all the extra money if you're too tired or too busy to enjoy it?
I'm not really doing it for the money. It's more the distraction. Extra money is just a bonus.
How's that working out for you? The distraction part, I mean.
Not as well as I'd hoped.
I figured, but that's all right. Something that will definitely do the trick. Mind if I sit down?
Go ahead. So, what's this big secret that's going to cure my woes?
I'm throwing an ugly Christmas sweater party this weekend, and I came over to extend my invitation to you face to face.
Man, those are so common they're a cliche.
You're right. The basic idea is common. But is it so common for them to be held at a like the Tower?
Tower? Isn't that big excuse me. Isn't that big club in Albany?
Yes, sir. 9 glorious stories. We rented out the entire 9th floor, which of course also gives us roof access.
I'm not sure roof access is important for a winter party in upstate New York, but I'm still impressed. You said we rented it. Who's we? Do you mean the Facebook group?
You got it.
Ah, yes. Good old UMSA. You'll have to forgive me, Erwin. I can never remember what that stands for.
Upstate Mingling Singles and Social Association.
Yeah. It's not exactly a name that really flows off the tongue, is it? And how many members even know what it means?
Horrible name or not, it's successful. You know how many members there are? For 5,000. Now tell me this. How many members did you wind up getting in that horror fan group before you decided to shut it down? I'm not trying to insult you, I'm just saying you can't mock the convoluted name, given how much it's grown. Mind if I have one?
Go right ahead.
Erwin takes a few drags. He stands up and paces.
So are you down?
I have been for a while now.
What? No, I mean down with going to the party.
Oh, that. Man, I don't know. I'm really not that great company these days, so I'll have to respectfully decline.
Why? Oh, wait. I know why. It's because of Lucy. Again.
Oh, you're funny. Nothing could be further from the truth.
Don't lie. She's been your excuse to turn on every invitation I've extended for the last 6 months.
Well, this time she's got nothing to do with it.
Oh, yeah? Why won't you go?
I don't have to explain myself to you.
That's right. You don't. Because I already know it's Lucy.
It's not Lucy.
I don't believe you.
I don't care what you believe.
Nice. So you don't care if your best friend thinks you're trustworthy or not? Is that what you're saying?
Really? You're going to play that card now?
What card?
You don't care if your best friend believes you?
Since when is friendship a card?
Since you just made it one. But I'm not falling for it. You know why? Because I know the truth. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and the truth, it's Lucy. You know, I worry about you sometimes, Kev. I think if you lost your marbles, maybe they're under Lucy's couch or something.
Wow. You're on the fast track to getting knocked out, buddy.
You've never hit anyone in your life, and you're not about to start now, especially with your best friend.
You willing to place that bet?
Not on that, but you know where I will place my money? I'm willing to bet Lucy is the reason you won't go.
Jesus Christ, will you drop it already? It's not a big deal.
I agree. You've been honest in the past if she's been the reason you wouldn't go somewhere. So why not admit it now?
Because she's not the reason.
Then what is?
I don't have an ugly Christmas sweater.
Is that really the best answer you could think of?
Apparently.
You sound like you needed that.
I did. Thanks. And I'm sorry I threatened you with violence there. That was out of line.
Well, you accepted. Now, at the risk of stirring up shit again, I must repeat my question. Is Lucy the reason you won't go?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you just say that?
I don't know. When you kept insisting Lucy was the reason, just one thought popped into my mind. Whatever you do, don't let him be right. I guess I got tunnel vision.
You're right about one thing, wrong about another.
Right and wrong about what? Enlighten me, sir.
You definitely got tunnel vision, but Lucy isn't the reason you won't go. She's the excuse.
What's the difference?
The reason would be, I'll be visiting my family in Seattle, or I got hit in the head by a sledgehammer. I'll be in a coma that night. And excuse is, my ex will be there.
Or I don't have an ugly Christmas sweater.
Bingo. I know you don't smoke, but do you have an ashtray?
Now just go flush it, please.
Erwin heads to the bathroom. Kevin heads over to the window and stares outside. Erwin returns to Kevin's right.
Amazing, isn't it?
What's that?
How dark it gets. I mean, I know it gets dark earlier during the winter, but it just seems to happen earlier and earlier every year. Plus, it feels like the dark has substance to it, you know? Like you could touch it. You have to wade through it to move through life. And that's not easy, because sometimes the darkness can be so heavy.
It all depends on the perspective, I guess.
Everything does. Look, I know you think I should be over Lucy by now, but I'm not. Believe me, I hate it just as much as you do. I feel like the world's biggest whiner. But for some reason, I can't get over her. And sometimes I'll say to myself, snap out of it, damn it. Do you think she's walking around miserable like this? And for a second, I almost managed to get over it. But then I answer myself by saying, of course she's not. You're miserable like this because you're out of the relationship. She probably felt this way while she was in it. Yeah, and then, about a week ago, some knucklehead made things even worse for me because they thought I might like to know that she got a new boyfriend. And that took things to a whole other level. I found myself thinking, what's so special about him that he gets to be with her? What I'm saying is I have to get through it at my own pace, and I won't be good company until I do. And plus, I know it might be a long shot, but who's to say she won't show up there?
I'll be honest. That is a possibility. And I know because I created an event on Facebook, invited everyone from the group, and she marked herself as interested in going.
She's in the group?
Yeah, her and her new beau. You didn't know that?
How could I? She has me blocked.
Still?
What do you mean, still? I'm still her ex. I was still a dickhead when she broke up with me, so she still has me blocked. Why is that so shocking to you?
Because I saw how well you two got along. I figured that even if romance didn't work out, you'd be friends for life. I thought she would have cooled off and had you back by now.
Well, she hasn't.
Well, I won't badger you about it anymore. I sent you the invite so you can check it out whenever you have time.
Okay, but I'm telling you, I'm not ready to date again.
Oh, good grief. You're not to be looking for a date just because you're going to a party, Kev.
Even if the party's being held by a singles group?
Especially if it's being held by a singles group. Shoot. I didn't realize the time. I've got to get going. Take care of yourself, okay? And don't forget the invite.
What invite?
Kevin returns to looking out the window while Erwin heads for the door.
Hey, Erwin.
Yeah,
You really thought Lucy and I had that kind of chemistry?
absolutely.
So why didn't it last?
Well, platonic chemistry and romantic chemistry aren't the same thing. Not everyone is compatible with everyone.
Yeah, well, I guess that's a good thing. I mean, if everyone was compatible with everyone, sooner or later the world would be filled with inbred, mutated freaks, right?
You're probably right. You take care of yourself, Kev.
Erwin hovers in the doorway for a moment, looking as if he wants to say something, but he leaves without another word. We see 3 desks, which are occupied by his co-workers, Michael Foster, Vinnie Albrecht, and Sheila Ingalls. Kevin enters, pushing a mail cart. He moves slowly, as if he dreads interacting with these people. His first stop, Michael's office. Michael is absorbed in his work. He doesn't even bother to look up when Kevin knocks.
Come in.
Good morning, Mike. Wow, you look super focused, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'll just drop this off and get out. Damn, Mike, how did you get on a website like this?
Slip a few bucks to your underpaid, undervalued IT guy, and they'll give you the keys to the digital kingdom.
What? It's not free either. You pay for that?
Not with my money.
You used company funds?
Oh, not me. Some guy who lives in Sweden did.
I see. Well, more power to you, mate.
Hey, Kev, one more thing before you go. If you're thinking about telling anyone what you saw here, I'd advise against that. Unless, of course, you want people to find out about any of the non-work related things you've done on company time.
Thought didn't even cross my mind, Mike.
Kevin moves to Vinny's office.
Mail delivery.
Yeah, come in.
Kevin enters, stopping a few feet from the desk. Vinny stares at some paperwork.
Everything all right, Vinny?
Do people punch the desk when everything is all right?
Hey, man, just showing concern.
Well, I don't need it, especially from some smut who's in his 40s and still works in a mailroom. Just put the damn mail down and go. I can figure this shit out.
You want me to put the mail down?
That's what I said, isn't it?
Sure is.
Vinny leaps to his feet, but this time, Kevin doesn't even flinch. He stands there, as if daring Vinny to make a move. Once it's obvious that Vinny's aggression has ended, Kevin leaves. Meanwhile, in the next office, Sheila gets up from her desk. She reaches the entrance at the same time as Kevin. Her face lights up when she sees him.
Hey, Kenny. How are you?
I'm fine, Sheila.
You sure are.
Yeah. I've got some. Damn it. Where is it? I've got some mail for you here. Yep.
Thank you, dear. I have some things that need to go out. Would you mind coming inside, please?
Kevin follows her. When she is halfway to her desk, Sheila drops the mail. She leans over to pick it up, putting on quite a show for him. Kevin turns away, embarrassed. Soon, she straightens up and finishes the trek to her desk. She grabs 2 envelopes, then heads back to him. As he takes the mail, she takes hold of both of his hands.
Don't be a stranger, Kev. You're always free to stop by more than twice a day. In fact, I'd be very grateful if you did.
Right. Thanks, Sheila.
Sheila heads back to her desk. Kevin walks away straight at first, but then begins drifting to his right, like he's lost control of himself.
I don't even know where I am anymore. At some point, I strayed from the straight road and just wound up alone in a dark wood. It's like I've been wandering around with my eyes closed. But you know what? I think I finally turned a corner. Yeah, I can feel it. I know what I have to do to get out of this rut. As the cliche goes, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Hello?
Hey, Erwin, it's Kevin. I've been thinking about your ugly Christmas sweater party. Count me in.
Oh, good. Come over to my place around 7. We'll take an Uber over to the club together.
Okay, I'll see you then.
I look forward to it.
Me too, my friend. Me too.
Erwin and Kevin enter. Kevin looks at the club entrance, and an expression of anger blossoms on his face when he sees Owen near the front door. The 2 friends stop near the entrance ramp.
Hey, what's the matter?
That is the matter.
Who's that?
Owen fucking Gleason.
Oh, so what's your problem with him?
You seriously don't remember?
I wouldn't ask if I did.
Well, to explain, I need to give you super brief background. See, I've known him a long time before you started UMSA. You know, people, they've always made fun of him because he's got a speech impediment.
Yeah, I know. They kicked a few people out of the group for calling him Mushmouth and Elmer Fudd.
Right. That's horrible. If you don't like someone, pick on their attitude, not their disability. And with that fucker, you've got a lot you can pick on. He is a shameless opportunist, and I'll tell you why. Like I said, I knew him long before UMSA began, and we were hanging out in a bar one night, and this guy Archie came up and started getting in Owen's face for some reason. I never found out why. But I didn't know Archie. For all I knew, he was going to hit the kid, and it looked like he was gonna do that. And you know, I was ready to get in the way. I would have taken a punch for that kid, and you know what my payback was? I can't believe you don't remember this. It happened in UMSA. I posted a sexual joke, in the group one night, and I admit it was a bit racy. It was about anal sex, but still, compared to some of the things those people say in that group, that was like a line from a Disney movie. And you know, but they started all dumping on me, saying, "Oh, you talk that way about women, you'll be single forever." And how would you think it's okay to post something like that? And I fired right back at him. Please. Most of you people, the only place where you're even a virgin anymore is your left ear. So let's just cut the fake outrage, all right? Let's stop it. But my comeback didn't put a halt to things. And you know who piled on next? That son of a bitch right there. He took advantage of the fact that I'd known him, and so he's like, "Yeah, I've known Kevin for years. He's always talked that way about women." I said, "Dude, you keep saying things like that, you'll never get a girlfriend." Apparently, he didn't listen to me.
Okay. So how does that make him an opportunist?
Well, think about it. He hasn't gotten any attention from women in that group. Then he sees everyone dumping on me one night, and what does he think to himself? They don't like him. If I show that I don't like him either, they'll see I'm one of them, and I'll be accepted, and then I'll get laid. So he jumped on the hate Kevin bandwagon too. Same son of a bitch I would have taken a punch for. And speaking of punches, you know what the punchline to that is? He still doesn't get any attention in the group. But you know what? He's going to get attention tonight. Hey, asshole! Hey, how you doing? What are you here for? Are you going to betray someone else who's only ever shown you kindness in the hopes you'll get laid?
Owen looks up. Upon seeing who it is, he takes off. Erwin grabs Kevin by the shoulder.
Yeah, go home. Go run back to Facebook, chicken shit. Get behind that keyboard. You're pretty quiet without it.
Kevin, get a grip. My buddy Charlie is head of security here. He's coming out to escort us upstairs. Oh, I'd have a good time. But he won't be able to if he sees your antics. Take a deep breath and listen to me. I don't want you to have any anxiety about going in here tonight, okay? You're among friends. If nothing else, you've got me. And Belinda, too.
Yeah, but you're the host of this shindig. You'll be too busy.
Stop right there. I want you to hear when I say this. I will never be too busy to pay attention to you. Understand?
Erwin sticks out his hand. Kevin shakes it.
Suddenly, Charlie appears behind them.
Erwin V. Gleason. Sorry for my delay.
That's all right. This is my friend, Kevin Seward.
Nice to meet you. Let's get you guys upstairs, okay?
Erwin V. Gleason? What does the V stand for?
Virgil. You seriously didn't know that?
I did. It just slipped my mind, okay? Give me a break.
Watch your step, fellas. The ice melted here. That's why it's all wet. Jesus, looks like a damn river.
Charlie heads inside. Kevin pauses near the door. Erwin looks back.
Hey, Erwin, did you see this sign here? Abandon all inhibitions, ye who enter here. What a trip.
They both head inside.
Kevin stands in the middle of the room. In one hand he holds a drink, the other is in his pocket. He is looking around as if he's confused or lost. There are several tables and chairs placed in seemingly random intervals around the room. Dance music pumps through the PA. While he is looking off to his left, Belinda appears to his right. She is in her early 30s, pretty, without being overly made up.
Kevin Seward, is that you?
Belinda, how are you doing?
He wraps his free arm around her. She hugs him with both arms. The gesture speaks volumes. She wishes her embrace could fuse his broken pieces back together. On the other hand, his timid embrace shows he doesn't know how to handle someone showing him so much affection.
I'm glad you made it. I thought you turned Erwin down again.
I did at first, but I changed my mind before it was too late.
Well, even if you miss this event, you know there will always be others. Aaron's always setting up things like this.
I know, but sometimes there's moments in life where it's now or never, It's Hemingway called them moments of truth. They're like tests in school. You either pass or fail, and whichever happens, nothing's the same after that.
Well, good news is, it looks like you passed.
Yeah. Well, is passing based on just showing up, or does interacting count toward my overall grade?
For your first time out in months, I'd say just showing up.
That's a relief, because I'll be honest with you, I've been doing piss poor on the interacting part.
Look, don't be so hard on yourself. Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Excellent. How about you?
Good. Kevin was just... Oh, sorry. Hold on a sec. I've got to go. Tracy and Linda are here. They're worried that they'll never find me. They're waiting by the front door.
Okay. Tell them I said hello.
Will do. Look, thanks for putting this together.
No problem. Enjoy yourself.
All right, well, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
How are you doing so far?
I can honestly say I'm enjoying myself.
Good to hear, but, well, I have to tell you something. I'm not doing to stir up anything, okay? I just got a notification that Lucy checked in.
Well, I appreciate the heads up. And I know you're not trying to cause trouble. You're trying to look out for me. If I ran into her unexpectedly, that would be like ramming my shin into a coffee table in the dark.
I'm glad you feel that way. A lot of people think I get a kick out of playing both sides and watching the ensuing fireworks. But that's not who I really am.
I've never heard anyone say that about you. Guess I'm not part of the inner circle that has those conversations. Okay, so Lucy's here. No problem. All I gotta do is smile politely and just keep going. I mean, she's not some big scary thug who wants to kick my ass, so it's no problem.
Yeah, about that. Her new man is with her. His name is Scott Saunders. I never met him until tonight, so I don't know what he's like, and I definitely have no way of knowing if Lucy told him anything about you. If she did...
I know. If he knows I'm her ex, he might want to kick my ass, knock me out, what have you. Funny thing is, I just realized that I wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, if he took a swing at me, I don't know if I'd even block him. I feel like I deserve a good punch after the things I said to her.
Well, come on. You didn't act any better or worse than anyone else who's been dumped. It's over. People move on.
But you can't say with any certainty that she has.
Let's say she hasn't. What are you going to do about it?
The only one thing I can do. I'm going to leave.
What? No, don't that. That is such a cop-out.
Then I guess I'm a copper. All right. Hands where I can see them.
Enough jokes, all right? Listen to me. You said you're having a good time. Now you're leaving because Lucy is here? Do you really want to give her that much power?
Okay, first, even if I am giving her powers, she won't know it. She doesn't know I'm here, so she won't know I left. And second, I'm not leaving for the reason you think I am. You wouldn't understand. Trust me, it's a situation you've never been in.
You think I've never been dumped before?
No, look, I don't feel like getting into it tonight, okay? But I promise I will explain myself to you, all right?
Okay. Well, I guess I'll talk to you tomorrow then.
Hey, Erwin.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invite anyway.
Sure thing, Kev.
Victor enters. He's a sharply dressed, distinguished-looking fellow.
Hey, Victor. What's up?
Oh. Kevin! Wow. It has been a while. I'm doing good. How about you?
You know, hanging in there. Hey, why don't you have an ugly Christmas sweater on? You're not feeling the holiday spirit?
No. I'm Jewish. Didn't you know that?
Apparently not. Sorry about that.
Don't be. It's not like you can tell by looking at me. Well, I mean, not by looking at anything you can see in public, anyway. How about you? Why don't you have one?
Don't own one? Didn't feel like buying one. But, you know, not for nothing, but religion was never really strong in my house when I was growing up anyway. I seem to remember my mom taking me to church a few times when I was little, but can't remember her ever doing that once I hit my teens.
Well, see, that's the thing. Someone grows up in a home where religion is not strong. They usually don't become religious when they're out on their own. I'll be honest with you, Kev, because for some reason I just feel like I can confide in you. When I was a kid, growing up Jewish, I was lonely. In fact, there were many times when I considered converting to Christianity, but I know they'd ask, why do you want to convert? And what would I say? So I don't feel lonely around Christmas? That wouldn't be a good enough answer. So I gave up on that whole idea because I didn't feel like wasting my life pursuing something that I always wanted but could never have. Well, I am looking for some folks who said they would be around meeting me on this floor, but I'll see you around, Kev.
See ya. Something I always wanted but could never have. I know that feeling too well these days. In fact, I'm still pretty amazed at how fast we became acquainted. But then again, I guess that's not as mind-blowing as it seems. I mean, even a second is long enough to turn your whole life upside down. For example, let's say you're out walking around and you go to cross the street and bam, you get hit by a car and suddenly you're a quadriplegic. Now, it's not like it took you weeks to become paralyzed, is it? No, it happened right there. And that same immediate devastation can happen to emotions too. And, you know, if you don't believe me, come on and take a tour of my memory banks with me, and you'll see it happen firsthand. Hello?
Hey, Kev. What up to?
Oh, not much. I was bored, so I just started scrolling through profiles on Alrighty Aphrodite.
Dude, you just broke up with Christy, what, a week ago?
So what? That means I can't look at profiles?
Here's the thing. You never just look. You message someone, you go on a date, be in a relationship, drop the L word too soon, and then be single again. Gotta face the truth, pal. You have a revolving door for a heart.
Okay. That's enough pep talk for today. Gotta go.
Kev, don't be like that. It was just.
Psst. Don't anybody tell Erwin. But he was right. It wasn't long after I hung up on him that I found Lucy's profile. Something about it just drew me in, it's like a tractor beam of love, you know. It's she just seemed authentic to me, not like a lot of other people on there. The problem I always have with dating apps is people seem to inflate their positive qualities so much that if those suckers were balloons, they would have popped by now. But aside from the authenticity, I was also intrigued about her line of work. She was head nurse at a psychiatric ward, and I'd never known anyone who did that kind of job. So I sent her a message, and then, well, after that, all I could do was wait. And wait. Wait some more. And, oh wait, I got a message. Hi Kevin, I liked your profile. It sounds like, that part of the memory won't translate well to this medium, so I'm going to skip ahead. I'll set the scene for you, though. We messaged each other for a little while through the app at first, then we made a transition to text message. And finally one night I said, hey, would you be comfortable with me calling you? And she said, yeah, sure.
Hello?
Hello, it's Kevin.
I know, silly. I just told you to call. Plus, like pretty much everyone else in the world, my phone has caller ID.
Fair enough, but I grew up long before caller ID was a thing, By now it's just an old habit to say who I am when someone picks up. And you know what they say about old habits, right?
An old habit in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Wow, aren't you the cheeky one? Anyway, how was your day?
Better than most. One of our long-term patients finally got discharged, so we had a farewell party for them. We always make a big deal out of it when someone gets to leave.
Doesn't that make the ones who can't leave get resentful?
That might happen if we didn't say anything, but we explain how we could be celebrating the discharge of any one of them next. We make it clear that there's hope for all of them.
Oh, so you're an uplifting psychiatric nurse. I was going to ask if you were Nurse Ratched or Nurse Pilbow, but that answers that already. You're neither.
Am I who or who?
Wait. Are you telling me all the years you worked in that hospital, no one's ever thrown a one flew over the cuckoo's nest reference at you? That's impossible.
It can't be impossible because it's true.
Well, in that case, sit back and relax, my dear. It's story time.
Okay, I'm sitting back.
Good. But are you relaxed too?
I am now. Go ahead.
Okay. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was, it was a book in the 60s, became a movie in the 70s. And it's about a guy named Randall Patrick McMurphy who's in prison. He's on a work farm, which he hates because he's lazy. So he figures he'll fake a mental illness, they'll send him to a psych ward, and he'll serve out the rest of his sentence there, and it'll be a breeze. He's got 68 days left in jail. He thinks he's going to have 68 days in the hospital. What he doesn't realize is if he pushes things too far, he'll earn himself committed status, and then he can't leave until the doctors and the nurses are damn well good and ready to let him go. And that is exactly what happens. Nurse Ratched is, like I said, well, she's the head nurse there, and she is a tyrant. You know how in the movies and stuff, books and things like that, head nurses are often portrayed as cold-hearted battle axes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you thank Nurse Ratched for that. Anyway, she keeps the patients scared of their own shadows, and well, the most cruel example of that kind of behavior and controlling is with this kid named Billy Bibbit. He's in his early 20s, and it turns out she's old friends with Billy's mom, who he is terrified of. And whenever she wants to get the kid to bend to her will, she just goes, "Billy, I wonder what your mother would think," and he caves like right away. She does that a couple times throughout the movie, including at the end, but I can't tell you about that one because that is what the kids these days would call a spoiler.
Oh, you can't leave me hanging like that.
I didn't plan on it. I own a copy of the movie, so I was going to suggest that we watch it together sometime.
I see. Well, that sounds like a great idea.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So when could we set that up?
Let me check my schedule. By the way, who's Nurse Pilbow?
Oh, she's the little toady, yes man, flunky type. She follows Nurse Ratchet's every command without question.
That's definitely not me then. I'm the Nurse Ratchet of the ward, except I'm not a cold-hearted bitch.
You know, I can already tell that even if someone said that about you, I wouldn't believe it.
Kevin enters. He sees Louisa walking around, drink in hand. She is dressed in the most revealing outfit the winter temperatures will allow. After a moment of indecision, he sits at a table near the middle of the room. Louisa moves behind him, eventually approaching him from the left.
Kevin Seward?
Yeah, that's me.
Hi. Louisa Higgins. We met last summer when Erwin threw that cookout at his place. Do you remember me?
Of course, yeah. How have you been?
Good. I'm glad I'm in one piece still. It's hard to walk in these heels when there's a strong wind like there is tonight. Well, it's hard walking in them even without that.
Why not just wear something else?
Oh, a girl's gotta look her best. I heard you and Lucy broke up.
Yeah, we did.
That's too bad. Hey, what are you doing next weekend?
Talk about your clumsy segues. I'm not sure right now.
Do you want to give me your phone number? I could text you and...
That's all right, Lisa. I gotta go. I'll see you later. Jeez, I almost didn't make it out of there alive. Some people, case in point, they're like tornadoes. You got to get out of their way before they suck you in, and next thing you know, you're being spit out in a trailer park in Olathe, Kansas. Oh man, I'm almost out of breath just thinking of what could have happened there. Well, anyway, instead of thinking about the chaotic present, I'd like to summon more memories of the pleasant past. And by that, I mean they were pleasant when they happened. Certain things have changed since then, so now they've got a stigma attached, I think that sucks. Don't you? How things that brought you so much joy back when they were happening now make you miserable in the present? I mean, just consider this hypothetical situation. Let's say you got a puppy when he was only 3 months old. And you two used to play together all day, every day, till you both passed out. It was the best. But now in the present, you find yourself having to put your best friend down. I don't get it. How do you work around that? How do you isolate happy memories so they don't get ruined when you compare them to the way things are now? I don't know the answer to that. What I do know is that whenever I start thinking about Lucy, a bunch of memories come barreling through my mind they're strung together like a train. The biggest, saddest, most pathetic, most miserable train you've ever seen in your life. And it just so happens the next car contains the memory of the night that Lucy and I met in person. All aboard!
Kevin enters. At first, he moves quickly towards Lucy's front door, but then he suddenly stops, as if an emergency brake has been yanked in his brain.
Oh boy. There's her front door. Get it together, man. You already know she likes you. Why are you so damn nervous? Actually, I knew exactly why I was nervous. It was because Lucy had 3 kids. And no, I don't mean I hate kids. I was worried about them hating me. Oh, and now that I say that, I just want to also mention, for those of you who are getting on your moral high horses out there because Lucy's having a guy she just met come over to be around her kids, let me tell you something. I wasn't going to be around her kids. We set it up so I'd go over there after bedtime. Of course, I could have still run into them like if they got up to go to the bathroom or something, but that was a risk, it was a chance I had to take.
Kevin takes the last few steps towards his destiny.
Here goes nothing.
It's open.
Kevin opens the door and steps inside. He closes the door and remains facing it, as if he's afraid to turn around.
Hello, Kevin.
He turns, and now we finally see Lucy sitting on her couch. She looks at him smiling. Kevin walks towards her. She stands up and meets him halfway. She's neither skinny or obese. The best word to describe her is curvy. There is something undeniably adorable about her. We don't know what it is yet, but the look on Kevin's face lets us know one thing. The moment he laid eyes on her in person, it was all over for him. He was absolutely, positively, 100% smitten.
Hi, Lucy. This is for you.
How sweet. Thank you so much. Let me go put it in some water. Take a seat and get comfortable. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Kevin sits down while she goes off screen. Before long, she returns and joins him on the couch.
This is a nice apartment you got here.
Thanks. Thank you for being open to coming over. I know it's an unusual way to have a first date. Some guys think being here means they'll get lucky. When they hear my kids will be home, they cancel, and then I never hear from them again. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't trade my life or my kids for anything, but this setup does make it hard to meet new people.
How long has it been this way?
Ever since I left their father, and that was when my daughter Raylan was only a year old, and she'll be 7 next month. So it's been about 6 years since I could go out on a date or even have an adult night out with friends.
Really? Doesn't he ever spend time? No. I'm sorry. That's not my business.
It's okay. I know anyone who wants to date me will want to understand the dynamic, so to answer your question, he takes them for only a few hours on Saturday afternoons, and it's up to me to drop them off and pick them up. People think I'm a sucker for doing that, but it's either I do all the running around or they don't see him. If people knew how they lit up when they go over to his house, they'd understand.
You know, based on just the way you said that, I can understand without seeing that. Still, it boggles my mind. He doesn't take his own kids overnight. He never takes them overnight, ever?
Not once since we split up.
Damn. Don't you have anyone else who could watch them?
Maybe someone would, but I've never bothered asking. Mainly because of Polly. He can be quite a handful. He's 10. Raylan will be 7 next month, and Cole is 12.
Okay, I'm glad you said the other names. I'll be honest, I forgot them, but that's only because you didn't talk about them as much as you did about Polly.
Yeah, well, that's because Polly has the most stories.
Right. Yeah, I remember you said he's got behavioral issues, but no one will diagnose him with anything specific yet?
Right, because they don't want to label a young kid with something heavy, which I think is bullshit. If they don't diagnose him, they can't prescribe anything, which means something is going on, but they can't give him anything to help. Meanwhile, they're not the ones whose lives are turned upside down. Anyway, he is a handful on his own, but then there are the other two. I mean, it would just be a lot to ask of someone, even if it was only for a few hours on a Friday evening.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, what about family members? You know, don't you have any relatives who wouldn't mind taking them off your hands for a night?
My mom and dad live nearby, but mom's health isn't good, and dad has no patience for Polly. So I'm willing to bet I won't have an adult night out until they're old enough to be home alone, and by then I won't even want to go out.
I can't even imagine how frustrating that is. I mean, sure, you get to be an adult at work, but that's not the same as going out to a club with your friends or something. I don't know. So, what are they like anyway? The kids, not your friends.
Well, aside from the behavioral stuff, Polly is a typical kid. He loves video games and so on. Raylan is just starting to develop interest in anything other than coloring books. And as for Cole, he's my reader. He will read and devour anything related to science fiction.
Science fiction? Really? Huh. Let me ask you something. Did he ever see the movie The Matrix? And did he like it?
Yes to both of those.
Sweet. Then he might like the book that inspired that movie.
I didn't know it was based on a book.
No, not not based on. Inspired by.
What's the difference?
I'm so glad you asked. I'll explain. Well, The Matrix is part of a subgenre of science fiction called cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm.
And the first book to make that subgenre really popular was called Neuromancer. It's about this computer hacker named Chase who gets hired to break into some highly guarded computer network.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's in there, he meets an artificial intelligence that calls itself Wintermute. And Wintermute says it wants Chase to help it. Even I get confused, and I love the genre. Help it unite with another artificial intelligence. Can you guess what that one's name is?
I'm not even sure I know what you're talking about, so no, I can't guess the other artificial intelligence's name.
Neuromancer.
Oh, the name of the book.
Precisely. Anyway, it's got a lot of terminology that he would recognize from The Matrix, so I think he'd like it.
Okay. I couldn't make heads or tails of what you just said, so he'd probably love it. I'll keep it in mind.
Hey, when's his birthday?
In 3 months. Why?
Tell you what. If I've met him by then, and everything's going great, or well at least, I'll get it as my first birthday present for him.
I'll hold you to that. Can we watch the movie now?
Jack Nicholson awaits.
Kevin enters. Greg and Gina eat an obnoxiously huge meal. The table is covered by just as much garbage as food, maybe more. Kevin is about to retreat when...
Kev, Bobev, how the hell are you?
I'm good, Greg. Hello, Gina.
Hey, Kev. Thanks for the dinner.
I'm sorry?
Me and Greg had a little bet going about you. I said you'd be here tonight. He said you wouldn't. I won.
I can see that.
You can probably smell it, too. Sorry. I was right.
My God, why did I come over here?
That's not really true, Kev. She thinks she got a free dinner out of me, but I would have ordered food anyway.
But would you have ordered this much without her?
Probably. After all, I'm a growing boy.
Yeah, you're growing out, not up.
I don't want to grow. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Going out of business.
Hey, folks, I don't mean to be rude and cut out so quickly, but I've got to get going.
No, don't go. Sit down. Enjoy some food and drink. $1.
I'm not hungry, Greg. Plus, food's just not my thing.
All right. You're the sensitive type who likes to wallow in his own misery. Why not loosen up and enjoy life?
I'd rather wallow in misery than garbage.
Misery is the garbage of the soul.
Maybe. But at least it won't make my waist size go up. Bye.
Greg lurches forward, intending to get up and confront Kevin, but his bulk slows him down. Kevin takes off.
Why me? Did I do something horrible in a past life? If so, believe me, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Can we say I've paid my dues so I stop running into people like that? Well. Anyway, I feel another memory of Lucy coming on. This one takes place after we'd been together for a few months.
Kevin and Lucy walk along the concourse holding hands. They're looking somewhere off screen, the implication being they're watching her kids play.
Thanks for letting me know about this.
Oh, no problem. It came up in my feed on Facebook, and I thought, hey, free event for kids. Tell Lucy. Hey, do you hear that song?
Yeah, it sounds pretty. Who is it?
I can't place it exactly, but oddly enough, it sounds like the Jayhawks.
Well, I've never heard of them.
Not a lot of people around here have. In fact, if you ever met anyone before me who said they knew the band, it's probably because they know me and I told them.
All right, Mr. Cultured Man, stop bragging.
No, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, if you talk to anyone in the crowd right now and you said Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber, they'd be like, oh yeah, Swiftie, the Biebs. But mention the Jayhawks or the Chainsaw Kittens and they stare at you blankly.
Well, with names like that, is it any wonder why? All right, don't get mad. I was only teasing. Please, tell me all about the Jayhawk Kittens.
Okay, well, you're a real twerp sometimes, you know it? Anyway, Jayhawks were one of the first bands to be called alt country, ALT, aka alternative country. You know, like we used to have alternative rock back in the day, which used to mean the kind of music you would never hear on mainstream radio or on MTV in the middle of the day. Of course, then, you know, when Nirvana and all those bands hit it big, what was alternative, what was once called alternative, suddenly was on mainstream radio and on MTV in the middle of the day, and that's a whole other conversation. The Jayhawks were founded by a guy named Mark Olson, and he played guitar and sang. And he found a bassist and a drummer, and then they got joined by another guitarist named Gary Louris. He joined to play lead guitar, but they found out he could sing too, and he had a higher register than Mark, who was down here, and so their harmonies became like the defining characteristic feature, signature of their sound, whatever you want to call it. But then Mark quit in '95 because, well, part of it was because he wanted to take care of his wife. She was another musician, and they have a real hard time getting anything that even resembles good health insurance because of their unstable income. And she had MS, so she really needed the help. Jesus, I said all that, and I can't remember her name. I can remember all those details. I can't remember her name. But anyway, I think another reason he left was because he got sick of, you know, anytime he wrote a song, he had to run it by the other members of the band. And he wanted to just do his own thing. Got sick of having to compromise his art, you know, so.
Yeah, I imagine a band can be like a relationship. You know, you need to be able to compromise, and if you can't, it ends up feeling like a trap. Like it did for Mark. How do you feel about that, Kevin? Commitment, I mean.
I mean, what are you getting at, Lucy?
Do you really need me to draw you a map?
Yes, I do. As you see, I've been known for misinterpreting people. Sometimes in grandiose fashion. And I have a feeling it's very important for me to not misinterpret what you're about to say. So please, I'll go get you pencil and paper if you need it. Please draw me a map.
Okay, well, it's simple, really. We've been dating for a while now, but yesterday I realized that we've never made an actual commitment. I don't know about you, but I haven't gone on any dates with anyone else, and I haven't signed into any dating apps either. And I'd like to keep it that way. Basically, what I'm saying is I'd like us to be exclusive.
You see. And you're wondering if I feel the same.
No, you big goon. I just wanted to tell you how I felt, but you can keep your big trap shut and leave me hanging.
Oh, okay then.
With a big goofy smile, Kevin begins to walk away. Lucy grabs him by the elbow and spins him around.
Yes, you jackass. I want to know how you feel.
Why didn't you say so? First, let me reassure you by saying that I haven't been on any dates with anyone else, and I haven't signed into any dating apps either. That's because my mind's been too preoccupied with other things, like you know, if I hear a joke that makes me laugh like really hard, I wonder if Lucy would find that funny too. And if I hear a song, whether it's new to me or something about it just sticks out to me for that some reason on that particular listen, I say, hey, you know what? I'd like to let Lucy hear that too, see what she thinks of. When I'm watching the sunset, I wish we were watching it together. So, if none of that was clear enough, I'll put it this way. Lucy Grossman, if you want to be exclusive with me, I'd say that makes me... how do I put this? The luckiest guy in the world.
He lifts her hands to his mouth and kisses them. Suddenly, one of her hands shoots around to the back of his head and yanks him forward into a kiss. This is more than a peck, but it's not the frenzied precursor to intercourse kind. This is on a whole other level, one we have never seen before and may never see again. The kind where their mouths fuse together as if they were one. The kind that makes a person wish they could be fed intravenously so their lips never had to part. In other words, forget that wimpy gesture from Princess Bride. This is the perfect kiss. Eventually their mouths part, but they remain close, their foreheads touching. They look as if they both woke up from the most amazing dream, one that would have been incredible if they had experienced it alone, but it's even more powerful because it was shared.
Think we'll make harmonies as beautiful as the Jayhawks?
Beautifuler.
Kevin enters. A thin, scraggly character, Harold, wanders around, pausing every now and then to pick up change. Another fellow, Wayne, sits at a table, eating a meal. A half-finished meal sits on the table to his right, as well as napkins, straws, and utensils. Kevin pauses. Harold walks past him, still scouring the floor for coins.
Harold Vanderbilt?
Kevin, I haven't seen you in ages. Walk with me, will you?
Okay.
How have you been?
Same old, you know. How about you?
Excellent. I just got promoted. My title is Director of Marketing, although I don't officially start until next week.
Oh, nice. So you must be making some serious scratch then.
Oh, you better believe it.
Then why are you looking for loose change?
Kevin, if there's one thing you never have too much of, it's money. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Hey there, Harry Man and Kevy Kev. Come on over here and pay me a visit. How are you guys doing?
Ah, Mr. Wayne Blarney. It's good to see you, sir. Well, things have been status quo for me, but Harold here just told me he got a really big promotion. Some guys have all the luck, don't they?
Don't I know it? Let me buy you a drink to celebrate.
I'll never turn down a free drink.
Amen to that. What do you have?
Rum and Coke.
Okay. How about you, Kev?
No, I'm not drinking.
Bullshit. You are now. Bartender. 2 rum and cokes for my friends here. In fact, how about another round on me for everyone on this floor? Hey, I've got to use the facilities. Then I'm heading up to the 9th floor. I'll see you guys around. Enjoy your drinks.
Oh, hey, Wayne, you left like 75% of your food.
What are you, the food waster police? It's not a big deal. Besides, I'm sure someone else will finish it.
Wayne exits. Before he's even gone, Harold sits down and digs in.
He's got that right.
Harold, dude, what the hell?
What?
What do you mean, what? You're eating someone else's half-finished meal. That's not exactly sanitary, you know? And not only that, but you're acting like you haven't eaten for weeks.
Oh, I'm eating this ravenously only because food has a funny way of tasting better when it's from someone else's plate.
Oh, good grief. I never thought I'd hear anyone past the age of 5 express a sentiment like that.
Oh, I'm running low on napkins. I'll take a few of these. Hey, I wonder how many of these utensils I could sneak out.
Oh, God.
Kevin enters, holding a satchel. He pauses outside Lucy's door.
Oh, man. What an image that was. Well, anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. Lucy and I had made our relationship official. We're moving a little bit further forward in time here. And I'd been with Lucy longer, so I was introduced to the kids, which meant I got to see Paulie's behavioral issues firsthand. I don't know. I like to think I handled it better than most people would have. I can never know that for sure. All I know is I did the best that I could.
Kevin turns toward the door and knocks. A moment later, Lucy enters. He steps inside, and she closes the door. Now we can see her son, Paulie. He sits in front of the television, a video game controller in his hand. He's an intense-looking young man. His appearance seems to indicate he could explode into a rage at any moment.
Hello. How are you, young lady?
Lucy kisses him hello.
I'm good. How was your day?
Good, but it's better now that I'm here. How's it going, Paulie?
What are you doing here? You should be dead already.
Polly, that's not okay.
Lucy moves closer to Paulie, her gaze boring a hole into the back of his head. When it's clear he won't respond, she turns back to Kevin.
I am so sorry. I know that's not the first thing you wanted to hear when you walked through the door.
But it wasn't, though. The first thing I heard was your voice.
You are so sweet.
She kisses his cheek.
I've got to check on dinner. Do you want to come?
No, I'll stay here.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Kevin sits on the couch, takes a book out of his satchel, and starts reading. At first, all we hear is the video game. Then, Paulie begins growling in frustration.
Hey, Paulie?
The child ignores him and keeps playing. Kevin gets up and slowly walks across the room. Suddenly, Paulie begins pounding his leg. Kevin stops briefly, but then resumes his approach. He cautiously touches the child's shoulder.
Hey, Paulie?
What?
Alarmed by the outburst, Lucy appears in the doorway so fast that it's like she teleported there. Upon seeing Kevin with Paulie, she decides to hang back and observe.
I just noticed you were getting frustrated with the game. You know, I've beaten this one before. Do you want me to help you get past this part? There we go. All right. Come on. See? Hopefully now you don't feel so bad. I mean, I've beaten this before, and it's still giving me a problem. There we go. Finally. Here you are, pal.
Kevin stands up and turns around, startled to find Lucy there.
Whoa. Hi.
Am I that scary looking?
No, I just didn't know you were there. Paulie he was getting mad at the game, so I helped him out. Sorry if that was out of line.
Kevin, you have nothing to apologize for. In fact, I'm impressed with how well you handled that. People don't look at Polly like they look at other kids. To them, he's just the lunatic who screams and throws chairs around the room. The parents of his classmates don't want him around their children as if they gave birth to perfect angels, but their kids can be downright cruel. At the end of the day, though, they're just kids too. We can't write them off so quickly. It's like I said about my patients. I need to believe that tomorrow can be better than today.
Well, there's a good chance of that happening for him, since he's got a mom like you.
You are possibly the sweetest man I've ever met. I wanted to ask you, have you ever worked with troubled kids?
No, never.
So you mean all of that was just based on instinct?
I guess it was. Well, combined with something from Harold and Maude.
Who and who?
That's one movie I've been meaning to bring over for you to watch. Just never got around to it yet. Harold and Maude. It's about this 20-year-old kid named Harold, oddly enough, who is obsessed with death. He goes to funerals of people he doesn't know. He drives a hearse. And he stages these fake suicides to freak out his uptight upper-class mom. And at one of the funerals, he meets a 79-year-old woman named Maude, who is every bit as full of life as he is obsessed with death. And she starts to draw Harold out of his shell, and he learns to embrace life as well. And I know it sounds like a dark, disturbing movie, but it's really beautiful.
Well, aside from the blood and the fake suicides, it sounds like it. Well, what does this have to do with Polly?
I was getting to that. In one scene, Harold and Maude go to this county fair, and he's watching Maude interact with these people that she just met, and they clearly love her already. And Harold says to her later, "You sure have a way with people." And Maude says, "Well, they're my species." And from the first moment I ever heard that line, I took that hit me right here, you know, and that's how I look at him. That's how I look at everybody.
Well, this member of your species wants to let you know that she can't even put into words how grateful she is for you.
She hugs him.
We're all lucky to have you in our lives.
Neither one of them notices this, but while they embrace, Polly looks back at them, and he actually smiled.
Stewart sits at a table. His head rests on his arm, one hand clutching a beer bottle. Kevin enters, looks around, and eventually decides to put at the nearest table. Belinda and Wendy enter. They are chatting it up and laughing.
I can't believe they did that.
Who the hell is that?
Not sure. Looks like Stuart Mills.
Jesus, he's wrecked. Why would he do that to himself?
They sit at the nearest table. Belinda spots Kevin.
Hey there, stranger. Come join us. You know Wendy Sims, right?
Yeah. How have you been?
Good. How about you?
Hanging in there. Have either of you seen Erwin recently?
No, we've been, well, speak of the devil.
Erwin enters with Walter. They sit at the table, not noticing the others.
Who's he with?
It's Walter, my goddamn ex. He has some nerve showing up. Well, I'll make him sorry he dared to show his ugly face here tonight.
She storms over to the two men and throws her drink in his face. He jumps up in surprise.
What the? Wendy? What the fuck is the matter with you?
Don't play dumb with me, you prick. I know you're good at it and all, but still, don't do it.
You've got some issues, lady. What kind of maniac just walks up and throws their drink in someone's face?
I'll consider it payback for what you did.
Hold on a second. What happened? Payback for what?
I was at my parents' house on Sunday. They walked me out to my car, and we all got to see the word slut spray painted in huge red letters on my driver's side door. I had our son with us, you asshole.
That doesn't sound any worse than when I found my tire slashed a few weeks ago, or when I came home and found a brick through my living room window.
When you think that was me, huh?
Who else?
Well, I don't know. There must be no shortage of people lining up to do shit like that to a bag of douche like you.
I didn't come here for this. I gotta bounce, Erwin.
Walter moves to exit, but Wendy blocks his path. Erwin scoots around the couple and goes over to Kevin and Belinda.
You want to whine about slashed tires and broken windows? Try replacing a broken reputation, you self-centered scumbag. A few weeks ago, there was a small matter of a picture of me on Facebook with the caption, "Local Sperm Bank." That got to my boss, asswipe. I nearly lost my job over something you did.
Come on, Wendy. You know that wasn't me. I would never do anything to put your job in jeopardy.
Really?
Yes, because I know if you had no job, you'd make a beeline to Family Court and get more money out of me.
You fucking rat! Bitch! You
Fuck this.
Oh, no, don't you walk away from me, you...
Walter darts around Wendy and escapes, but she follows.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some party, Erwin. Oh, Lordy. Hey, what? Hey, is that Stuart Mills over there?
Yeah, he's in bad shape. I was about to go out for a smoke, but I should get him into an Uber before he hurts himself.
No, you go. You go ahead. I'll take care of him.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
Mind if I tag along?
Of course not. They wave as they exit.
Yeah.
Kevin goes for Stuart.
Nice.
Hey, Stuart. We need to get you downstairs. We gotta call you an Uber.
I prefer Lyft, fucker.
Okay, fine. Lift. Whatever. Let's just go.
He manages to get Stuart to his feet. Kevin is so focused on trying to keep the drunk man upright that he doesn't even see Philip enter, carrying a pitcher of beer. Kevin stumbles into him. The drink goes flying.
Oh my God. I am so sorry. Let me buy you another.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. Hey, you're Kevin Seward, right? Philip Conti, you remember me?
Yes, I do. We met at the last UMSA bowling night, right?
That's right. This looks like Stuart Mills. Seems like he's giving you a rough time. Let me take him off your hands.
Kevin as he passes Stuart off.
Thanks, man. I was trying to get him downstairs to call him a lift. He needs to get home ASAP.
I'll take care of him, Kev. Come on, party animal. Let's get you home.
Philip exits with Stuart. Kevin stands there watching them leave.
Kevin is in the break room at work. A table and 2 chairs are behind him. He has his phone in one hand and a copy of Gravity's Rainbow in the other. Lucy sits on her couch, her phone held up to her ear.
Hey there, cutie pie.
Hello, dear. How's work?
Same as usual.
That bad, huh?
You know it. Excuse me. Right now, I'm closing in on the last few minutes of my lunch break. You know, the fastest 30 minutes of the day.
Well, maybe you could trick your brain into thinking your entire shift is one long lunch break, and then the day would fly by.
That is brilliant. That is just brilliant. I'll have to give that a shot. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you enjoy your lunch?
I enjoyed what I ate of it, but I lost my appetite about halfway through.
How come?
I'm reading this book called Gravity's Rainbow, and I got to this one part that was kind of gross. Funny, but gross.
Well, now you've got me curious, so tell me all about it.
Okay, but when you lose your appetite too, I want you to remember you insisted.
Okay.
The novel is set during World War II, and it features a ridiculously large cast of characters that are running around Europe, looking for a device called the Schwarzgerät, which is German for black device. And some of the people form this group called the Counterforce. And two of the members of that group are the ones in the Grossat scene. Their names are Roger Mexico and Pig Bodine.
Wow, those are some character names.
To paraphrase a classic rock song that I cannot stand, but the baby ain't heard nothing yet. So these guys, they get invited to a dinner party at the house of this German industrialist, and they realize, hey, this is not a good place for us to be. So they come up with an escape plan that you could say is unique. They come up with disgusting names for dinner dishes. And it works because the other guests wind up vomiting, convulsing, or running away. And they create these nasty names using a literary device called alliteration. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I think so. Isn't that the one where you write a bunch of words in a row that start with the same sound?
Yes, it's one and the same.
Wow, I guess I did pay some attention in my English class. Anyway, what kind of dish names did they come up with?
Oh boy. Let's see. Where do I begin? Why don't we start with some puss potatoes followed by snot soup?
Oh, good grief, what did I get myself into?
I tried to warn you, Charlie Brown. About some crotch custard. Now, let's move on to some scum souffle with a side of menstrual marmalade. Scab sandwiches. Wart waffles. Fart fondue. Leprosy loaf. Bowel burgers. Groin gravy.
Okay, all right.
All right. Who are you all of a sudden, Matt McConaughey? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Really? You'd be willing to swing that way, huh?
All I meant was he's a good actor, but then now that you say it, I mean, it depends on which McConaughey you're talking about. Dallas Buyers Club or Texas Chainsaw Massacre or The Next Generation. Granted, the second one was a shitty, had no reason to exist movie, but at least he doesn't look like a skeleton in that one. And I should save myself here before I have to go on a sensitivity seminar. I realize he looked that way in Buyers Club because he had AIDS, but I'm just saying in general, that ultra super skinny look, it's just not for me.
Well, that's obvious. Look at the shape of your girlfriend.
Oh, please, don't get started on your figure. That's my job.
You're such a goofball. You're coming over for dinner tonight, right?
Yes, I just have to stop home for some things first.
Why? You've got to change your clothes here.
I know, but I'll need something for lunch tomorrow.
But you're welcome to take some food from here.
No, that wouldn't be right. That food's for you and the kids. You don't need a grown man like me eating your food on you.
Oh, okay, first, if you really felt that bad about it, you could always replace whatever you ate. Second, even if you didn't, what's wrong with you grabbing something from here? After all, you're mine to take care of now.
This line hits Kevin like a shot. He is too stunned to even talk.
Kevin, you there?
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
I'll head over right after work.
Okay, I'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
She hangs up. Kevin stares at his phone as if catatonic, still recovering from what she said.
You're mine to take care of now. Wow.
Hank, Fred, and Sandy sit at a table near the middle of the room. They are dressed in clothes that indicate geekiness. Judging by the conversation they're having, they've been engaged in a heated debate for some time.
I can't. I just can't with you. It's like talking to a mental patient who's deaf and in a coma.
I don't get why this is so upsetting to you, man. You liked the Watchmen movie, right? And 300?
Yeah, so?
And why are you offended that Zack Snyder used his filmmaking skills, which you just admitted you enjoyed in the past, to remake Dawn of the Dead?
Because it's a cop-out. It's lame. It's pathetic. It's Kevin Seward?
When he first appears, Kevin looks exhausted. However, upon seeing this trio, his face immediately brightens. It's easy to see why. Out of everyone he has met tonight, this crew seems to be the most like him. Kevin makes his way around the table, shaking everyone's hand.
Hey, Fred, Sandy, Hank, what's going on?
Right now, we're trying to flush the Kool-Aid out of this man's system so he stops having such awful taste in movies. He has been sitting here for at least 10 minutes, singing the praises of the sacrilegious Dawn of the Dead remake.
You have yet to explain what's wrong with it.
First, let's state the obvious. Romero got it right the first time. Second, the original had an underlying current of social satire, which your buddy Zach left out. Why didn't he include it? Think that we were too dumb to get it? Fuck him. And third, he didn't even find a way to make the movie his own. I mean, all he did was speed up the zombies and raise the gore quotient to appease all the mindless idiots who flock to see the next Eli Roth torture porn flick. No self-respecting horror fan would say Snyder's film equals Romero's.
I'm not saying it equals it.
Oh, no, you don't, you dare, you not.
I'm saying it's better.
Hank jumps to his feet and paces back and forth in an agitated manner.
I can't believe you just said that. You are a heretic, man.
You feel that way only because you're a fanboy.
Oh, like hell I am.
Oh, yeah? Let's talk about a different movie then. Let's talk about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, shit. He's got you there, Hanky.
Oh, wait, I'm missing something. Why does invoking the title of the first Harry Potter book and movie mean you got him?
Okay, so we all went to see Sorcerer's Stone together, right? When we came out of the theater, Sandy and I were gushing. We couldn't believe how faithful it was to the book, how accurate the casting was, and so on. Only for Hanky Panky here to tell us he didn't know what movie we went to see because the one he watched wasn't faithful to the book at all. When we asked for an example, he gave one. Want to know what it was?
Oh, believe me, I'm all ears.
You tell him, Sandy. I'll crack up too much.
All right. Brace yourself, Kev.
Mm-hmm.
This man stood on the sidewalk outside Crossgates Mall and said, "In the book, Harry and Ron met Draco on the train, but in the movie, they didn't meet him until they reached Hogwarts."
Okay. And then what?
And then nothing. That was the beginning, middle, and end of his argument. Now tell me, what say you to that?
I don't mean to offend you, Hank, but if that example was a punch, it wouldn't knock out a 5-year-old. In other words, it's weak.
Thank you, Brother Kevin.
Well, not so fast. Let's hold on now. In Hank's defense, I think sometimes changes to source material can be acceptable. Even big changes, if it makes sense. Let's see. Like, take the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, for example. In those movies, the webbing came right out of his body. In the comics, he had to make his webbing through some unspecified chemical process, and then he had to shoot it out of web shooters. Spiders don't have web shooters. And then the comic never bothered to answer several questions that raised, like, what chemicals exactly did he need? Where did he get them? And probably the biggest one of all, where would our constantly broke hero, excuse me, I already said that. How would our constantly broke hero afford them? So in this case, the movies made more sense than the comics. Well, am I right?
Fred turns to Hank. After a brief silence, both men stand up.
You want to go upstairs? Judging for the ugly sweater contest should be starting any minute now.
Yeah. Not to mention the 50-50 raffle. Take care, Kev. Don't hurt yourself.
What the hell's that supposed to mean?
They exit without a reply. Kevin looks at Sandy.
I'm going to go too.
She heads toward the stairs. Kevin moves away from the table, wandering aimlessly. Before she leaves, Sandy looks back at him.
Hey, Kevin,
Yeah.
I agree with you about the webbing.
She couldn't have said that while the others were here? So they could have seen someone agree with me? That's a trick question. Obviously she couldn't, or she would have. She didn't want to be alienated like me, but I can't hold that against her. Most people aren't brave enough to say how they really feel. They'd rather be phony than lonely. But as for me, I'd rather be alone now than find out X amount of days, weeks, months, years later that my life was a lie. Like I did with Lucy. But you know what? I don't want to dwell on that right now. For now, I want to dwell on happy memories. Or at least try to. There'll always be time for sadness later. And that's because there's one thing I learned about life. It's that there's always time for sadness.
It's open.
Kevin goes inside, immediately heading to the couch.
Oh, if this memory doesn't endear you to Lucy, nothing will. I feel the need to preface it, though, or else it might seem a little silly out of context. First, I need you to listen to this. Lucy loved big band music. I never got into it myself, but I came to at least appreciate the musicianship behind it. Anyway, this memory contains a moment that is so small, you might be tempted to say, "Really, dude? You took us back in time to see that?" But the thing is, excuse me, sometimes little moments can have a huge impact. In fact, I believe that all those moments that you think are trivial or insignificant, those are the ones where you truly get to know someone. You can see the fine details, read the small print, and that's when you truly fall in love with them. Hey, Lucy, I'm home. How was your day?
Good. How was yours?
Not bad. Hey, I was wondering if I could change the music. I wanted to let you hear a song. It's by a band called the Tragically Hip, and the name is Bob Cajun.
Never heard of them. Then again, that's par for the course with music you bring over. Hey, I just thought of a question that I've never asked you about music.
Oh, I love me some music questions, so fire away.
What is it that you love about this band so much?
Well, that's easy. Gordon Downey's voice. He always sounds so full of emotion. It's like he's in danger of being overwhelmed by it, And I have a feeling he would have been an interesting character to know.
Would have been?
Yeah. He died in 2017. Brain cancer.
Damn, that sucks. So, an interesting character, huh? Explain yourself, mister.
Okay, check this out. In this song, Gordon sings from the point of view of a police officer. Okay? When the song starts, he's at his lover's house, which happens to be in the small town of Bob Cajun. Hence the name of the song. And by the second verse, he's got to head back to the city for his shift. Once he's on duty, he gets called in to break up a really nasty riot. And during the bridge, Gordon sings, "Until the men they couldn't hang stepped to the mic and sang, and their voices rang with that Aryan twang." And people think he's referencing an event called the Christie Pitts Riot, which happened between Jewish people and an anti-Semitic group known as a swastika club.
Well, that's some background for a song.
I know, and that's my point. He took a story about a riot between Jewish people and anti-Semites, and he makes a freaking love song out of it? I mean, that hints at a worldview that is probably one of the most unique of anyone I've ever heard of. I mean, it just makes me wonder what other thoughts were in that guy's head. And that, my lady, is why I say it seems like he would have been an interesting character to know.
I see what you mean, and I agree.
Silence, except for the big band music. When the absence of talking becomes too much for him, Kevin heads towards the kitchen.
Hey, Lucy, I feel like an accidental chauvinist. You're in the kitchen slaving away at dinner. I'm out here rambling about the tragically hip. Do you need any help?
Kev, you worry too much. It's fine.
Now Lucy comes into view. She has her back turned to us, and she is dancing around the kitchen.
Maybe so, but I still feel kind of useless.
Kev, it's not like I'm making a tap horse. Hi.
Hi. Cute clown nose. Well, it's not as cute as the person wearing it, but then again, nothing is.
Oh, stop.
As you wish.
All right, Wesley.
Wesley. Am I suddenly blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and handsome?
Well, you are definitely one of those.
What? Give me a... You got like a pocket mirror or something I can look in? I can't believe my eyes turned blue. I gotta see that.
Oh my goodness, you're too much.
So they say. Anyway, back to my question. Is there anything I can do for you out here?
Not really, but you know what? If you want to play that song, go ahead. I've heard this one a million times.
You sure?
As you wish.
After a quick kiss, Kevin goes to put on the song. Lucy returns to making dinner.
Teresa sits at the table on the right side of the room, her head held low. Kevin enters. After looking around for a moment, he sits at the table in the middle of the room.
I'm still closing in on that memory of the day Lucy and I broke up. I really don't want to relive that. It's just too painful. There must be something that could stop it from coming back, but I don't know. It's got to be something either really interesting or dramatic, or both, or I know it won't do the trick.
Nate enters. He carries a pitcher of beer in each hand. There's a privileged, arrogant swagger to his walk.
What the fuck you looking at? Yeah, that's what I thought. You better walk away, pussy. Kevin, motherfucking Seward. I didn't expect to see you here. I heard you still crying by being dumped by that skank, Lucy Grossman. Get your balls back, dude. Why don't you?
Why don't you shut up, Nate?
What? Did this little fellow just go David to Nate's Goliath? Yes, he did. Once this hits home, Nate rushes towards the table, slamming the pitchers down on it so hard that beer splashes out. Kevin gets to his feet and backs up, his hands held up in a stay-away gesture.
What did you say?
I said, shut up. Are you deaf as well as stupid? If you weren't such an asshole, I'd feel sorry for you.
I may be stupid, but you have a death wish. You little prick.
No. What I have is a limit to the bullshit I'll take from jolly green jackasses like you. You see, for once in your life, you are actually right about something. I am still hurting over Lucy, but you know what? I can live with that pain because I understand it. I accept it. You know why? It's because anybody would be upset over losing someone like her. She was sweet, kind, thoughtful, so many wonderful things. But you? What the hell are you? You're a toddler in a man's body. You use your size to intimidate people to get what you want. You don't actually earn it. What I'm saying, you supersize me sack of shit, is I won't take any more pain from the likes of you because you're nothing.
I suggest you stop moving your jaw before I break it.
course. Violence. That's the only rebuttal a walking slab of beef like you knows. Go ahead, break my jaw. What does it prove? That you're strong? Anyone who looks at you would know that. It accomplishes nothing, and you know why? Because when it heals, I'll tell you to shut up again.
All right. You need to learn the hard way, I guess.
Nate grabs Kevin by the shirt. Just as the giant pulls back his fist, the bouncer enters. When the security employees start shouting, Nate spins around.
Hey there! Here you can't seem to keep your hands to yourself tonight. Let's go. You're out of here.
I have a better idea. How about you go fuck your mother?
Bouncer closes the distance. Nate throws a punch. The bouncer dodges and gets the giant in a wrist lock. Kevin backs up while the bouncer drags Nate out. As they leave, Kevin bumps into Teresa's table.
Oh!
What? Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, aren't you Teresa Hunt? I don't know if you remember me, but I'm Kevin Seward. I haven't seen you out in ages. Where have you been hiding?
No, you know how it is. Sometimes life gets to be too hard and you just have to take a break.
Teresa, you can be honest with me. You and I have talked a lot in the past. I'd like to think by now you know I won't judge you because I've been where you are myself.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't, huh? And what was that mark on your wrist there? All I'm trying to say is you can talk to me if you want.
Well, I don't want.
Teresa hops down from the stool and retreats. Just as she leaves, a crew of 4 enter. Gwyneth, Andrew, Norman, and Sal. The group takes notice of Kevin and immediately surrounds him, patting him on the back, hugging him, giving him high fives, etc. He accepts all of this as graciously as he can, but there is an anxious look in his eyes.
Good to see you out and about, Kev.
Thanks, Gwyneth. Wow, Mr. Norm Foley and Mr. Sal Cooperman. Man, I'm more out of the loop than I thought. I didn't even know you two were an item. Well, congratulations to the both of you.
Thank you. Thanks.
And Andrew Madsen, what are you up to these days?
I'm just busy enjoying my freedom. I don't know if you heard, but I recently vandalized an art exhibit. They had a showing for this scumbag whose art is nothing but women being brutalized. So I went in with some spray paint and improved it with big fat red X's. I made bail earlier today.
Too bad security grabbed him before he could hit that other exhibit. I don't remember the artist's name, but his work is loaded with Christian imagery. And he's not just using it for the symbolism either. He's a legit 150% full-blown Jesus freak.
I see. Well,
I don't know how people can still fall for that shit in today's day and age. I mean, look at all their disgraced leaders, all those lying, cheating, adulterous televangelists. Or how about all those child molesting priests?
True, but you gotta remember
That's
that...
religion supposedly all about acceptance. They sure get bent out of shape if you believe in a different invisible man in the sky than they do. You know, I mean, really.
Okay, well, those are some good points, Gwyneth, but I need to get downstairs. I'm meeting someone, but no, it's nothing to get excited about. It's not a date. It's more like a real estate deal, I think. They were saying something about wanting to give me a watchtower. Later, folks.
Kevin exits. The 4 of them exchange looks that indicate they don't know if he was joking.
Well, that'll...
Kevin sits on his couch.
Damn it. I wanted something to squash that memory, but Not if the distraction is going to make things worse. Then again, there is that old cliche about beggars can't be choosers, right? But I think by now we can all admit that's bullshit, because they certainly can be, and they often are. Well, anyway, here comes the next memory.
Hello?
Hey, sweetie.
Hi there. I was just...
Hey, Mom.
Hang on a second, Kevin. What do you need, bud?
Is that Kevin on the phone?
It is.
Is he coming over tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lucy, are you there?
Yeah, the strangest thing just happened. Holly asked if you were coming over. He has never asked that about anyone.
Well, that's not really shocking. I mean, no offense when I say this, but he doesn't seem to like most people.
Yes, I agree with you, but doesn't that make you understand the significance of what this means? Kevin? This is an exciting development, don't you think?
Yeah.
Then why do you sound upset?
No, no, I'm not. It's just, you've told me so many stories about people who tried to reach him but didn't or couldn't. Just feels weird to be the one who succeeded.
But weird in a good way, right?
Yeah. Weird in a very good way.
I'm glad to hear it. See you soon, then.
You bet.
All right.
Kevin is on the couch with her, watching a movie.
What's the name of this movie again?
Annie Hall.
Reminds me a little bit of When Harry Met Sally.
Good observation. Actually, this movie planted the seed that made pretty much all rom-coms possible.
So Woody Allen single-handedly invented rom-coms.
No, not single-handedly. The cast and crew members of all those Annie Hall knockoffs helped.
You're a dork.
That's why you keep me around, right?
One of many reasons.
Uh-oh. A compliment. We are on unfamiliar turf. Kevin turns back to the movie. Lucy keeps looking at him. He pretends not to notice, but he can't keep up the charade.
Something wrong?
Just waiting. This is when you usually start to give me a speech about the movie, book, or band you're introducing me to.
Around this time? Like clockwork? Yeah? Am I that predictable? That's too bad. Because predictability is boring.
Kevin, there's one thing in this world that you are most definitely not. It's boring.
They lock eyes. This clearly makes Kevin uncomfortable, but he fights to maintain contact, and he succeeds. She reaches up and brushes her fingers along his jawline. He covers her hand with his own and holds it.
Are you going to ramble now?
I can. But there's so much to choose from. I don't know where to start. I guess I'll start with Alvy Singer himself. There have always been two things that I've found interesting about him ever since I first watched this movie. First one being the depth of his insecurity. You remember how Annie wanted to give up singing, but he wouldn't let her?
Yeah, I thought that was very sweet of him.
It was. But then he changes. When she becomes more confident, he becomes whiny and pathetic. I read an article somewhere that said Alvy he's a chauvinist, but I just think he's insecure. And the number one thing that triggers that insecurity is when Annie is no longer the naive girl from Chippewa Falls and she doesn't need his guidance anymore.
Those are all good observations. But what's the other thing that you find interesting about him?
Well, the movie's about his memories of his relationship with Annie, and trying to figure out what made it fall apart. And right away, we're relying on his memories, not hers. That makes me think we must be dealing with an unreliable narrator.
What's that?
Basically a liar. Someone who leaves out any details that would show them in a negative light. And Alvy clearly has low self-esteem, so he's more susceptible to that kind of behavior.
Well, how come?
Well, because people with low self-esteem have a hard time facing their mistakes because they already feel bad about themselves. And if they're confronted with something they did or said that they're not proud of, they think, oh, no wonder I feel so awful about myself. I really am a shitty person. And after a while, they get sick of having those negative feelings reinforced, so they start to deny the mistakes they've made. Like, nuh-uh, no way, I didn't do that, it wasn't me. And so my first thought was, this is the kind of guy who will omit things so that the breakup looks like it's all Annie's fault.
Okay, hold on. So you said that was your first thought. So it sounds like you changed your mind. Why is that?
Because his memories do show him in a negative light. So I think he's a reliable narrator, but that still leaves one question.
Don't say it yet. Let me take a guess. If he's being honest about what happened, why can't he see what caused the breakup?
Exactly. How can he be honest enough to show his poor behavior but then not connect the dots?
Maybe he doesn't understand why Annie left because he wouldn't have left if their roles were reversed. He can't imagine people feeling differently than him.
That's a great point. And it fits with everything that I've been thinking before. That's why I like you so much. You complete me.
Jerry Maguire? Isn't that another Annie Hall ripoff?
I'd say no because of the sports angle. Alvy was a nerd.
But he was a basketball fan. Remember the scene at the party where his wife finds him watching the game in the bedroom?
Once again, you've amazed me.
Oh yeah? How much?
Rather than explain it with words, Kevin answers by kissing her. Kevin enters, frantically pacing back and forth like a madman.
That last memory was like life imitating art. I mean, there I was talking about how Alvy can't face his flaws, and here I am trying to avoid the memory of the breakup. And why? Because it shows that when I decide to go for a swim in the waters of assholery, I go straight past the kiddie pool and dive headfirst into the deep end. At any rate, I'm aware that wanting to avoid that memory makes me a coward and a hypocrite. But what can I say? We all have flaws, right? And besides, it's not like I'm the first coward / hypocrite that ever lived, Of course. The problem is I don't want to be a coward/hypocrite, but I've got to face one simple truth about that. There's no way I'm going to change either one of those things before the night's through. So I have to do what a doctor would do when they have a patient whose disease they can't figure out. When they can't cure the illness, they do the only thing they can do, which is treat the symptoms. So going forward, that is my mission for the night. Someone here must be having a conversation that'll derail this memory train. I've just got to find them.
Kevin moves around the room. Eventually, he comes upon.
I set a goal to double the number of women I nailed for the entire year in only the month of December alone. I did that in the first week. I can't believe how easy it's got. Like, all you have to do is pretend that you're looking for a soulmate, and then next thing you know, you're getting laid.
While you wasted time getting your nether region stroked, I was stroking my boss's ego. One of our vice presidents retired, and I wanted that job. Of course, so did a lot of others, and they were all more qualified than me.
So, how did that turn out?
Well, my friend, let's just say the old cliche is wrong. Flattery can get you somewhere.
Kevin runs away. The next two sinners he runs into are.
Did you hear about Father Mathis?
He just got investigated for child molestation, right?
The same. They put me in charge of the investigation. He knew they would, so he came to me out of desperation. And when you know it, I found no evidence that he molested anyone.
That's good. It stands to reason that some of those priests are falsely accused. I can't believe they're all guilty.
He was, though. I dropped by his apartment once, and he had the most disgusting pictures strewn all over the place.
Then how could you say he wasn't guilty?
Well, give me a couple grand a month for a life, and I'll just say about anything. Now that I think about it, shouldn't your psychic abilities have let you know that he was guilty?
Psychic abilities? Oh man, that stuff isn't real. The only reason I say it is because there are so many suckers willing to hand over their firstborn just to hear a few words from a dead relative. The most amusing part to me is that 9 times out of 10, the relative they want to hear from is someone they couldn't stand when they were alive.
Kevin is on the move again. Next up, we have.
How's the new director at your agency doing?
He's okay. Seems inexperienced, though.
That's because he is.
Wait, how did you know?
Because he's my nephew. He probably doesn't have half the knowledge needed for the job. But I love the kid, so I pulled a few strings to get him in there. Now that he got the position, he's not going anywhere until he retires.
Well, he seems like a decent guy. Unlike this other idiot they hired. He goes around all day spreading rumors about people. He's in no position to judge anyone. Do you want to know what I heard he did? There was this one time when he...
Before Hypocrite can finish, Kevin takes off. The next two sinners are.
I want to thank you for that tip about Mr. Rich being out of town. Me and my crew got a lot of high quality stuff out of this place. We haven't even been able to move it all. I'll send you something as some of the proceeds to show my gratitude.
Glad I could help. I only wish I could help myself too. The real estate market is tough right now.
What do you mean?
Jeez, I don't know where to begin. I mean, there are so many things that can turn an easy sale into a major hassle. But I did have one lucky break recently. You see, I have this client, Navarro Park, who's been trying to sell for months. About a week ago, 2 newlyweds came along, and they really wanted to buy. The problem was they had their own agent, which meant I'd have to split the commission. Fortunately, I found out they had partnered up with this grant program called the First Time Buyers Club, and I used that to my advantage. You see, my client is a neurotic old bat, and she's looking to sell quickly. All I had to do was tell her that if she sold to them, it would take months, maybe even years for them to close. Of course, that's not true at all. It wouldn't have taken them any longer than anyone else. But she didn't know that. Sure enough, she believed me, and she told the couple and their agent to go get fucked.
Really? An old bag said that?
I'm paraphrasing. Anyway, a week later, another couple came along without an agent, and they bought it for the full asking price. Didn't even bother to make one counteroffer.
Well, in that case, I propose a toast to the free market.
To the free market.
To the free market. You scumbag. Taking advantage of an old woman's fears. Screwing a young couple out of their first home. So you didn't have to split one commission? I hope there's a special place in hell for the likes of you.
He's off again. This time he crosses paths with...
Yesterday, Timmy sent me an angry rant about his girlfriend. Well, I wasn't going to waste a good opportunity like that. I took screenshots of it all and sent them to her. When she wrote me back talking shit about him, I sent those to Timmy.
I pulled something similar on these freshman dweebs at Skidmore. They wanted to try cocaine, so they came to me. I wonder what kind of high they got from snorting Cascade.
Nearly hysterical, Kevin leaves. He meets the last three sinners in quick succession, bouncing between them like a human pinball.
While my twin brother was at work, I went to his house. I told his wife, I got out early, honey. Then I nailed her.
The lawyer's office received the papers today. Now when my uncle dies, I'll get the entire inheritance. All that hard work practicing the old stingy bastard's signature paid off.
I started a GoFundMe campaign where I said I lost all my belongings in the fire. I had over 100,000 in an hour. It's amazing how nobody questions a sob story like that.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Lucy is on the couch. Kevin sits next to Lucy, holding the book Imagica by Clive Barker. Polly plays a video game.
After hearing all those horrible conversations, I'm actually looking forward to retreating into this memory.
Well, the party's in an hour, so I'm gonna go get changed.
You sure it's okay if I go like this?
You'll be fine. I doubt anyone else will be dressed up. I'm only dressing up because I don't get to do it often.
Fair enough. We'll be here, hanging out.
What are you reading, Cup?
It's called Imagica. And it's by this English chap named Clive Barker. He wrote the short story that became the basis for all those Hellraiser movies.
Those are the ones with the guy that has all the pins in his head.
Mm-hmm.
Mama won't watch him, but I know him.
Smart lady.
So, what's the book about?
Well, you can probably tell by the width of it here. That's a long answer. But I'll keep it as brief as I can. In the book, there are 5 different worlds that the characters move between that are collectively all known as the Imagica. And Earth is the 5th dominion. That's what they're called dominions in the book. There's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Earth is the fifth, and it's disconnected from the other four. A few people do know how to travel between worlds, but they're few and far between. But there is a ceremony called the reconciliation that could join Earth permanently to the others, but it can be done only once every 200 years. And if it's successful, then anyone can travel wherever they want, anytime. It won't be a special thing, a special power anymore. And there are some people in the book who want to try the ceremony again, and then there's others who want to stop them. Because if there's one thing people in power don't like, it's when you take some of it on them. They want things to stay the way they are, with them in charge.
That sounds sad.
It is. There's no reason so few people should have so much power and so many have none. Anyhow, what I think is really cool about the reconciliation, if they pull it off, is that everything in life and through the 5 dominions will move in a circle. That's how it'll be connected, all in one great big circle. Like if you're in Dominion 1 over here and you want to go to Dominion 5, you don't have to go through 2, 3, and 4. You just go this way to 5. And so life would just be this never-ending pattern, never-ending cycle. And guess what? When you get back to the beginning of this cycle, you'll retain all the knowledge you gained the last time you went through it. So that means even if you're in the same situations again, you can avoid making the same mistakes. It means there's hope that tomorrow can be better than today.
That actually sounds pretty cool, Kev. Be right back. I gotta go pee.
Ay, ay, ay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he forgot to pause that game. I better go take care of that before he comes back and finds out he got killed.
Kevin walks over and picks up the controller. Lucy enters, passing behind him and going to the coffee table, where she opens her purse and takes out a compact. Since she walked behind him, Kevin doesn't see what we do. Lucy is an absolute vision. Kevin briefly glances over at her. He looks forward again, but a puzzled look comes over his face. This is because his brain took a second to realize what his eyes saw. Slowly, he turns around, as if moving too fast would make her vanish. But she's still there, checking her makeup and completely oblivious to his loving gaze.
Whoa! Hey kids, you gotta come down here and take a look at Mom.
Why don't you say that to them?
Kevin walks in a circle to take sight of her from every angle.
I always thought she was cute, but I mean, look at her in that dress. It's undeniable. My girlfriend is a hottie. Oh, wow. Wow. I just realized something. Man, I used to have a pretty pathetic track record when it came to romance. Erwin said it best, but I can't remember how he put it.
I said you had a revolving door for a heart.
That's it. Perfect. Thank you, my friend.
I got your back.
Revolving door for a heart. And you know what comes with that condition? A tendency to drop the L word too fast. Throwing that word out there, saying it too soon, That's like premature ejaculation. It might feel good, but once it's out there, you can't take it back. Well, I guess you could take one of those back, but I'm not getting into that right now because I'm trying to make a point here. And the point is, I have not made that mistake with this young lady right here. I don't think it's even crossed my mind to say it to her. And I believe that can mean only one thing. That I really, finally, truly do love my partner.
Kevin moves closer to Lucy.
That's right. I love you, Lucy Grossman. It's about time I told you. In fact, I plan on doing exactly that.
Kevin enters. He negotiates his way slowly through the crowd while also keeping an eye out for Lucy. Belinda and Erwin enter. They sit at the table. Upon seeing them, Kevin makes a beeline for his friends.
Hello, folks.
Hi, Kev. Thought you were trying to leave.
I was. I mean, I am, but I just keep running into people I know, and I don't want to be rude, so I just kept getting drawn into one conversation after the next.
You use the stairs? Why not just take the elevator?
Because when people have a choice between stairs or elevator, most take the elevator. And I figured, do what everyone else does, more likely to run into Lucy. Then I thought, well, you might run into her on the stairwell, so I stopped off at every floor and took a break.
Then you could have run into her on any given floor.
You're right. But all I can say to that is I guess no such thing as a perfect plan, yeah? Well, at any rate, I've been lucky so far. I haven't even seen her.
I still don't understand why you want to leave. It can't be because she's an ex, because some of your other exes are here. The only one you're making an effort to avoid is Lucy.
It's because I don't care about my other exes.
Now we're getting somewhere. You still care about her.
That's not what I meant.
What else could you have meant? Is it because she's here with her new boyfriend? If so, you've got nothing to worry about. I wound up talking to him earlier. He seems like a pretty laid-back guy. Not only that, but he knows who you are. He wouldn't have any problem with you talking to her.
So you say, but you... Wait a minute. How'd you know all that?
I told him you were worried about running into them.
You did what?
That's the big deal. I want to find out his stance on the issue, so I could reassure you everything was fine.
What? Reassure me? What if everything wasn't fine, Erwin? What if he said he wanted to kick my ass?
You'd be reassured to know your instincts were right.
That has got to be the most ridiculous, nonsensical, ass-backwards argument I've ever heard in my life.
It's not an argument. It's my reasoning.
I don't care if you call it an argument, reasoning, or a rainbow-colored dildo. You didn't have to tell them that. I told you you wouldn't understand why I wanted to leave. And since not getting my ass kicked is something you do understand, that means that wasn't the reason!
Kev, relax. You're about to bust a vein in your forehead.
You're right. You're right. I don't know what came over me. Sorry, Erwin.
Hey, I get it. You don't want them to know you're worried. You know what? Did cross a line there, so I'm sorry too.
Apology accepted.
Good. Now that we got that resolved, hold on. Sorry, I have to take this, folks.
Karen enters, accompanied by Cody. His attire and demeanor tell us he must be in some branch of the armed forces.
Karen, over here.
Hi, Belinda. Good to see you. This is Cody Demers.
Good evening, Belinda.
Nice to meet you, Cody. Do either of you know Kevin here?
I don't think so. Nice to meet you.
Same here.
Nice to meet you, Kevin.
Kevin winces from Cody's too tight handshake.
Likewise.
I'm glad you're here, Karen. I didn't expect to see you.
Why is that?
I heard something awful. Is it true your mother died? Oh, you poor thing. I'm so sorry to hear that. But no, I admire you for being able to make it out here tonight. If I were you, I'd still be too much of a mess to leave the house.
I am a mess. But I had a victory that I wanted to celebrate.
What are you talking about?
It's easy to explain. See, I still live in my childhood home. It's a 2-story house, and each floor is a separate apartment. I'm downstairs, Mum was upstairs. My siblings, they're scattered all over the country. Their names used to be on the deed, but I convinced Mum to take them off of it.
Why would you do that, Karen? She was their mum too.
You wouldn't know it from the way that they treated her. Once they moved away, it was like they forgot she even existed. For the last few years of her life, the woman had dementia. None of them helped take care of her. She'd get nervous if she was in the house alone for even a second after the sun went down. I'd be out grocery shopping and she'd call me in a panic. Karen, you've got to come home. It's dark and I'm scared. Now, what did I just say I was doing? Was I out partying? No. I was buying food, and yet I'd cut it short for her. Did my siblings do that? No. Did they take her for all her doctor's appointments? No. Did they stay home from work if she didn't feel well and she was nervous about being home alone? No. You know what? I opened up to you because I thought you were my friend. I thought you'd be understanding, but instead, you're just another judgmental, high horse-riding bitch.
Karen storms off. Belinda stands up, enraged.
Are you going to go after her?
But you bet your ass I am. No one talks to me like that and gets away unscathed. Look, before I go, I wanted to give you a little tip. If you want to avoid Lucy, don't use the front door. You might still run into her. See those side double doors over there? They lead out to a side patio. You can get to the parking lot from there. Before you go, though, you should check out the view looking out over the city. This time of year, all the Christmas lights going up and down every street, it's breathtaking.
Will do. Thanks, Belle.
Good luck.
She chases after Karen. Cody moves slightly away from Kevin.
Hey, it's Cody. Yeah. I know this line isn't secure. I will be quick. Is money there? Good. You know the drill then. Go ahead and send along the info. No, not all, you jackass. Half. Why would we send everything if we only have half the money? No, I don't trust the Chinese, but they offer to pay the most. So I had to go with them considering how much I owe my bookie. Just let me know when the rest is there. Bye.
Cody hangs up and exits.
Oh, Jesus. And I thought running into Lucy's new boyfriend would be scary. Oh, I better get out of here before I wind up with a pair of cement shoes in the Hudson.
Kevin goes to leave, but runs into Georgia and Ben.
Holy cow! Is that Kevin Seward?
It is. Ben Davies, right?
Yeah.
Georgia Criswell? How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah, right. Tell him the truth. She has been bitching about her roommate all night. Wait until you hear it. This is one hell of a story. And while she tells you all about it, I'm going to go buy us another round. You want anything, my fine fellow? I will treat you one.
No thanks.
Alrighty. Just another martini?
Yes, thank you. Want to sit there?
Sure. So, tell me all about this horrible roommate.
She's more like a house guest. Her name is Hillary. I met her when I lived in California. She wanted a change of scenery, so I said she should try Albany. I offered to let her crash at my place while she got herself set up, but I'm regretting it now because it's been a month and she's still here.
But, well, relocating is always a slow process. I mean, you've got to find a job that pays well enough, and you have to interview for it, and you have to wait till they offer you a job. Then you have to start working, and then you have to...
No. That's not what's going on. This bitch just won't leave. But I've done some things lately to convince her to get out. First, she asked if she could borrow my car to drive to interviews. I said no, because I needed it to get to work. The thing is, my job is only a 5-block walk from my place. There was one day she had to take 3 buses to get to an interview. Then she had to take 3 buses to get back. Except the buses stopped running by then. She had 2 options. Take her cab or take a very long walk home.
And since she has no job and money's tight, I'm guessing she walked home. Right? And I bet her feet were killing her the next day, which means she couldn't get around to job hunt. Did you ever stop to think when she loses a day looking for work, that makes her stay with you drag out that much longer?
It won't be if she wants out bad enough. And I think my latest get the fuck out bitch move will be such work. One day, she planned to walk around looking for a job while I was at work. She said, "Can you give me the keys so that if I get back to the building first, I won't be locked out until you get home? I promise I'll be back there before you."
That sounds reasonable. But you didn't give her the key, did you?
Not on your life. I also told her that if I came back and found my front door unlocked, she better not come back.
Then how was she supposed to go job hunting?
I told her to leave by the fire escape. You know what made that even funnier? The ladder to our fire escape doesn't go down to the fire. It's up. So, 10 feet in the air. Wish I could see her face when she found that out.
Kevin responds by walking away. Georgia doesn't seem to notice or care. Ben enters just before Kevin can leave.
Hey, Kev! Where are you going?
I'm sorry, Ben. Georgia was telling me about the stuff with her friend, and I can't stay. She is despicable.
No! Can you believe that Hillary isn't out yet?
I meant Georgia is despicable.
Oh. Well, yeah, okay. Well, each to their own. I mean, I think your opinion would be different if you had a freeloaders at your place.
Where's your empathy, man? You've been in the same position as Hillary. In fact, I have a question about that. What happened? You look like you turned your whole life around. You got these nice clothes, you're buying rounds. What's the story?
Do you know Otto Dillinger? The heir to the Dillinger fortune. Well, it's a long story how this happened, but I wound up crossing paths with him. And for some reason, he decided to take me under his wing. I mean, I was in the gutter, and this saint just lifted me out of it. One of his business partners said that he took to me like a son. And I tell you, being treated that way has one huge perk. I mean, he trusts me to a point where he shares things with me that he won't share even with his oldest partners.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And the more fool him, right? Because since he trusts me so much, he never double checks any of my work. Half the time, he doesn't even ask what I'm doing. And so he is completely unaware of the fact that the Dillinger Company gives me a regular salary and, every now and then, extra little bonus.
The patio is deserted. There are some tables and chairs set out, but they are covered for the winter. Kevin comes barreling out of the club, pulling on his winter coat as he emerges.
Oh, man. Oh, right. Home free. Well, almost. Just got to get out the good old car keys. And, oh, wait. There's that view Belinda told me about. I could spare a few seconds to check that out.
He moves to the patio edge to look out over the city.
Wow. She was right. This is an amazing view. Oh, you know what? This is the distraction I needed. Shame I wasted my time talking to all those toxic people in there, but then again, how could I have known all I had to do was come outside? Well, no time to beat myself up over that. All right. Here we go. Look at the pretty lights, Kevin. Holiday cheer. Christmas spirit. Peace on earth and goodwill to... Shit! It's not working. Nothing's gonna work. It's... That memory's still on its way. That awful, embarrassing, cringe-inducing memory. Well, I might not want to remember it, but it's beyond my control now. Fighting only makes it worse. I have no choice but to relax and let nature take its course.
Kevin paces back and forth for a few seconds. Then, after a deep breath and a slow exhale,
I want to preface this memory by saying, if you're the kind of person who demands to know every reason why every character makes every choice in every book you read or every movie or play you see, then you're about to be sorely disappointed. Why? Well, consider this a spoiler alert. You're not going to learn why Lucy ended things. Actually, I guess you'd call that an anti-spoiler alert, because how can I spoil something you were never going to hear in the first place, right? You have no reason to trust me on this, but I swear I did not exclude any memories that would have shown the end was near. Well, to be more accurate, I didn't exclude anything that would have shown the end was near to me. That's an important distinction. You remember earlier we were watching Annie Hall and Lucy said maybe Alvy didn't think the things that he did warranted a breakup because he wouldn't have broken up with someone for those reasons? We're on similar turf here. I bring all this up only because I know some folks want, expect, or demand answers for everything. But here's a newsflash. In life, you're not always going to find out why something happened. And the sooner you realize there's no such thing as closure, the better. Oh, and in case you're wondering, no, I had not said the L word to her yet. I was waiting for the right moment. Another word of advice. There's no such thing as the right moment. Just say what you have to say before it's too late. Of course, in my case, it wouldn't have changed anything, but the advice still stands. Well, On to the dismemberment.
It's open.
Hello, beautiful. How was your day?
Fine.
Kevin sets his satchel on the coffee table and roots through it. Lucy stands up and paces. She is agitated, but he doesn't notice.
Hey, you know what's been bugging me lately? It'll sound silly, but you know how sometimes little things can just stick in your brain and drive you nuts, like a sliver in your finger?
Yep.
Well, my latest sliver would be the lyrics to a Smashing Pumpkins song called Stellar. It came out on their 2007 album Zeitgeist. Well, it came out on a re-release. When they first put the album out, it had only 12 tracks on it. And then a couple months later, for some reason, they re-released it with more tracks, and one of them was Stellar. I cannot explain why Stellar wasn't on from the beginning, because Stellar is a stellar song, and it's probably better than even half the tracks that were on the original release. And I say that as a self-professed Smashing Pumpkins fanatic.
Yep.
Anyway, it's driving me nuts because I can figure out just one line of lyrics, and the line is, "The weight hurts worse than the blows." Now, I know Billy Corgan was an abused kid. I was not abused myself, but I do know that abused children live in a state of hypervigilance. When they're not being hit, they're expecting to be hit. And so Billy is saying that anticipation can be worse than the abuse sometimes. So I've got that line under my belt, but I don't understand how it relates to the rest of the lyrics.
Kevin?
So you know what I did? I printed the lyrics out. Now if I could only find them. Aha! Here we are. Now, I am going to sit down with this paper and decipher how the rest of those words fill out the picture that one line painted. I am smarter than these lyrics, damn it. They're not going to win. I will figure out...
Kevin!
Yeah. Did I do something wrong? I don't think you've ever snapped at me like that.
No, I haven't. But when you get on a roll, it's hard to get a word in, so I needed to be forceful. Kevin, I don't think this is working out.
Wait a second. Usually people say something like that before they break up with someone. But I don't see how that can be what this is. I mean, things have been great.
They've been okay, not great.
Okay. It's not April 1st, Lucy. Even if it were, this would be the lamest April Fool's joke ever. So now you can drop the act and you can tell me that comment wasn't about us. Tell me it's your job that's not working out, or living here, or the plumbing. Just don't tell me that it means you're breaking up with me.
I'm breaking up with you, Kevin.
I don't understand. Why? Why now? Why at all?
I don't want to get into it. Please. I just need you. I need you to just go.
Oh, well, isn't that something? That's wonderful. So not only are you the one ending it, but then I don't even get to know why?
Please don't yell at me.
I'm sorry, Your Highness. Is this volume acceptable?
Don't call me that. Just because I'm breaking up with you doesn't mean I'm acting like a goddamn princess.
What? How do you expect me to talk when you decide to just break up with me out of the clear blue?
It's not out of the clear blue. This has been on my mind for a while. I just didn't know how to tell you.
A while? You couldn't have brought this up sooner so we could have talked? That would have been the fair thing to do.
It would have, but staying in a relationship where I feel like I'm going through the motions wouldn't be fair either.
But you didn't feel like that, damn it. So why do you now?
I told you to stop yelling at me.
I can't help it.
Why not?
Because you're breaking up with me. And I came over here with the intention of finally telling you I love you.
Oh, Kevin.
Lucy. I'm sorry I yelled at you there. That was out of line. Look, I know that when things go right, it can be just as scary as when they go wrong. You know, you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's like Billy Corgan said, the weight can hurt worse than the blows, but you won't be facing that fear alone. I'll be with you. We can support each other through it.
Kevin,
Yeah?
I was afraid you were going to say that.
Which part?
I love you.
So that's it then.
Lucy nods. Resigned to his fate, Kevin begins packing up his satchel. But then he pauses. The next time he speaks, it is in an aloof, sarcastic, biting manner.
You know what? What need is there to be upset? You're right. This is for the best. We never should have entered into a romantic relationship at all. It was never destined to be worth a damn, but the sex, that was amazing.
What did you just say?
I said you're right.
Oh, not that part. The other part.
Oh, I said the romance sucked, but the sex was great? Why? Wait, you agree with me? Well then, why don't we keep that going? You know, friends with benefits style.
What? I can't believe you.
What's wrong with that? A lot of people do it.
That's not the point.
No, it isn't. Well, it's not my point. I'm just saying, if the sex was good, why not keep doing it? I mean, this was nothing more than rebound relationship for both of us. You know it, I know it, and now we don't have to be polite about it anymore, right? But the sex, my God, Lucy, the sex, it was just out of this world. And I am confident you agree with me on that one because actions speak louder than words. And the way you screamed and thrashed around, it's amazing neither one of us got hurt.
What is wrong with you? Have you gone crazy?
No one around here is crazy. Not yet, anyway. But if anyone goes crazy, it'll be you. Tonight, when we're between the sheets, and I'm drilling you like a mad dentist.
You son of a bitch.
There's no reason to bring my mother into this.
Get out! Now!
My pleasure.
Before you go, just a tip for the future. And this goes for anyone you meet, not just romantic partners. Don't ramble on about all those movies, books, and bands you've loved so much. Aside from you, there's usually only one or two other people in the entire world who even care what you're talking about. Doesn't matter how insightful you are or how you try to relate it to the conversation you're having. It fucking bores people to tears. And they're not impressed. At all.
Kevin looks back at her. The pain in his eyes is obvious. Lucy feels a sting of guilt. A moment later, they both vanish from sight. When Kevin reappears, his satchel is gone. He wears his winter coat again, and he's back on the patio.
Now, do you understand why I wanted to avoid that memory? If not, I'll explain myself. I wanted to avoid it because of the pain I caused her, not because of how hurt I was. Well, at least now you know I'm not the type of person who sweeps all his dark, dirty secrets under the rug. And, why should I? We've all had moments like that. Most people don't like to owe up to them because they think admitting to them is the same as admitting they're a bad person. That's not the same thing. You are not those moments when you snap at a loved one because you're mad at someone else, or you forgot someone's birthday, or you bump into someone on the street and knock them down because you kept thinking about a meeting where your boss belittled you in front of your coworkers. Unlike the clearly defined roles in books, movies, and plays, no one is a hero or a villain 100% of the time. Anyway, needless to say, that was that. Later that same day, I found out she blocked me on Facebook. Shocker, right? After a few days, I tried to email her. It came back as no such email address. I tried to text her. I got the red exclamation mark that my text couldn't be sent. And then I tried calling, and I heard this.
The number you have reached is not accepting calls at this time. Please try your call again later.
Now, you might wonder how I could have expected her to talk to me after what I said, but the truth is I didn't expect that. Across all those platforms, I just wanted to say 2 words to her. I'm sorry. And I would have left her alone for the rest of my days. But never got the chance. And I realize an apology from me would have had little to no comforting effect on her, but that was beside the point. I wanted to say it because she deserved to hear it. But I never could. And without being able to do that, I couldn't let go of that pain. I had to live with the regret of how I acted, and in fact, I still do. It's right there. Anytime I look into a mirror. But there's nothing I can do except shake my head and say, Kevin? Oh, Kevin.
Kevin!
Oh, shit.
Kevin turns around and sees Lucy standing outside the double doors. After a moment, she starts walking toward him, stopping when she is 1 arm's length away.
Lucy. Hi. How's it going?
Good. How about you?
I've been good.
That's not what I heard. People have been telling me this is your first time out of the house in months.
Yeah, well, that is true. I mean, I might as well be honest with you. It's been rough.
I know how you feel.
You do?
Yes. Just because I'm the one who ended things doesn't mean it was easy for me. At first, it was actually pretty awful. I kept wondering if I made the right choice. It got so bad I had to start working overtime just to stop thinking about you.
Kevin gives the audience a cheeky, knowing glance.
Eventually, things got easier, but I still thought about you from time to time. Then Erwin sent me the invitation to this party. I asked him if you'd be here. He said he invited you, but he wasn't sure if you'd make it. Once I knew I could get the kids watched, I started to get anxious about coming because I wanted to run into you, and I was nervous that I'd miss you. What's so funny?
Nothing. I'm sorry. Who'd you get to watch the kids?
My boyfriend's sister-in-law. His name is Scott, by the way. I wasn't sure if you knew that.
I've heard of him, yes.
Actually, he's into obscure bands and movies like you. I think you two would get along, but we can talk about that some other time. Right now, I want to talk about something I heard that was a little upsetting. I heard you're leaving the party because of me. Is that true?
No, it's not. Well, not exactly. Not for the reason you think. I mean, damn it, who told you that?
Erwin?
Figures. Well, the truth is, I wasn't leaving so I didn't have to be around you. I was leaving so you didn't have to be around me.
Honestly, that isn't much clearer than what Erwin said. Why would you think I wouldn't want to be around you?
Well, arriving at that conclusion was a multi-step process. So, I'll explain it. And forgive me if my reasoning is convoluted, but you should know by now, from me, there's no such thing as a short answer. Anyway, here goes. When Erwin told me earlier that he got the check-in that said you were here at the party, my mind immediately went back to the way I acted on the day we broke up. Not to be too crude about it, but I was a dick.
That's an understatement.
Hey, I'm already owing up to it. There's no reason to grind me even further into the dirt, okay?
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. Go on.
Thank you. As I was saying, I was a jerk.
No, you said you were a dick.
Anyway, I thought, she's here to have a good time. How is that possible if I'm here? Well, maybe it's not impossible, but it's less possible. Then I remembered how you said you hadn't had an adult night out in years. And the fact that you were here meant someone was watching your kids, all three. And I was like, wow, things don't line up like that often for you. And I didn't want to ruin your evening, not even for a second. So I was going to leave. You know what? That sounded really good in my head, but now that it's out in the open, it just sounds arrogant. Like to assume my presence would affect you so much.
Well, you're wrong on one point, and you're half wrong on the other. You're not a dick, Kevin. You acted like one. That doesn't mean you are one. You said those things because you were hurt, and I can understand that. Pain can make people act in ways that are completely out of character.
I agree with that, but I still wish I'd acted more maturely. Anyway, what was I half wrong about?
Your reason for leaving? It was a bit arrogant, but it was also sweet. Most people wouldn't be so thoughtful. In fact, most people might enjoy ruining their ex's night out.
Well, I'm not most people.
Another understatement.
Neither are you, for that matter. You deserve that level of consideration. And then some.
She smiles, and he smiles back. His ability to return this gesture makes Kevin realize that he has defeated all his anxieties and fears. For the rest of the conversation, his tone is relaxed and natural.
Lucy, I owe you an apology. There was no reason for me to say those horrible things. You wanted to break up and I didn't. So what? Things like that happen all the time.
Kevin,
Of course, when it's unexpected, it can hurt more than when you see it coming. It seems stupid now, but I remember just thinking, she's breaking up with me, and she won't say why. That hurts. I'm going to hurt her back. Pathetic.
Kevin,
I mean, that's like punching someone. It's the emotional equivalent of punching someone just because they stepped on your foot accidentally, and that's a stupid analogy. No one accidentally breaks up with you. I can come up with something better than that. I just
Kevin!
Yeah.
I didn't mean to startle you, but when you get on a roll, it's hard to get a word in, so I needed to be forceful.
Now, when and where have I heard that one before?
Gee, I have no idea. Anyway, you're being too hard on yourself, Kevin. You acted like an asshole, but you forget I wasn't too gracious myself.
Are you kidding? I'm the one who said all the outlandish things. What did you do wrong that day?
Well, first, I blindsided you. Second, it wasn't right to not tell you why I was breaking up with you. I realize it might not matter anymore, but I'm willing to tell you now, if you still want to know.
No offense, but I honestly don't think I could handle hearing it tonight. Rain check. Yeah?
Well, finally, there was that cracker made about how you shouldn't ramble on about movies and so on. That was uncalled for.
Oh, please. Compared to what I said, your comment wasn't even a blip on the asshole radar. And plus, you said all that after my tirade.
None of that matters. It wasn't right for me to say it. End of story. The way you carry on about things is part of who you are. It was a low blow, and I apologize for taking it.
Wow. I don't know what to say except apology accepted.
Good. And I accept yours.
Thanks. I just don't see how you can. I mean, I was such a bastard that day. I said I loved you, and then in the next breath, I said all those nasty comments. How do people do that? How can they save their most hurtful behavior for the ones they claim they love the most?
Well, I don't believe people do that. I think it's like the lyrics from that Blue Airplane song you played for me. The one where they said, they say you hurt the ones you love. But I don't think it's true. The ones you love, they're just the ones most prepared to be hurt by the things you do.
You remember that?
Of course. Why wouldn't I?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like people are humoring me when I try to share stuff like that. They act interested, but they don't really care to hear it.
You were sharing part of who you are with me. I was never humoring you, and I always cared to hear it.
A brief silence, during which they lock eyes. In that moment, we can practically feel and see the weight lifting from their shoulders. Then, suddenly, they both reach out and pull each other into a hug. She rests her head on his shoulder. He strokes her hair. After a moment, he kisses the side of her head. In response, Lucy's embrace tightens.
I'm glad you made it out tonight.
Me too. Hey, there's something amazing you should see. Belinda told me about it. Come on, I'll show you.
Kevin puts his hands over his shoulder and guides her towards the patio. He moves to her right, putting his arm around her while she looks over the city.
You're right. This is amazing.
Lucy, this could be the start of a beautiful friendship.
Is that from a movie?
Yeah, Casablanca. Did you ever see it?
Of course not.
Oh, it's a classic. It's about this guy named Rick Blaine. He opens a cafe in...
Oh, wait. Before you get started, I have something for you.
A Christmas card? Oh, I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. Just read it.
All right. Dear Kevin, if you're reading this, then that means I'm standing right beside you, because the only way I was going to give it to you was in person. I heard you're still sad about our breakup, but you shouldn't be, because at the end of the day, you're still a sweet, kind, giving person. In fact, you give of yourself more than anyone else I've ever met. And I'm hopeful that for this Christmas, you'll give me the one gift that would make me happier than anything else. I had it once, and then I lost it. But I hope you're willing to let me have it again. And that gift would be your friendship. Love, Lucy. Merry Christmas, Lucy.
Merry Christmas, Kevin.
They share another smile. Then he puts his arm around her shoulders while they look out over the city.
So, yeah. Casablanca. It's about this guy named Rick Blaine. He opens a cafe in a country called Casablanca, and it's called Rick's Cafe. And he's in love with this woman, but she's with some other guy, and she's played by Ingmar Bergman. And wait, did I say Ingmar Bergman?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Ingrid Bergman. Ingrid Bergman is a beautiful actress. Ingmar Bergman was a film director. You might actually know some of his work without realizing you know it. Some of the images from his movies are iconic. Like, have you ever seen the image of like a Grim Reaper and there's a guy in black?